My child, stop for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not something you should casually scroll past. Before it's too late, I have something I must tell you. I am speaking directly to you, not the crowd, not the world, but to the heart that found these words at this exact moment. Do not rush away. Stay here and listen carefully, because this message carries weight your soul was meant to hear. There are things about your life, your path, and the choices standing in front of you that cannot remain unsaid any longer. So slow down. Let the noise around you fade for a moment. What I am about to reveal may change the way you see everything, and by the end of this message, you will understand why walking away now would be the greatest mistake you could make. My child, I know you did not plan for this moment to happen. You were simply moving through your day, perhaps scrolling, perhaps looking for something to occupy a quiet moment in your mind. From your perspective, it may feel random, like you simply landed here among countless other things competing for your attention. But I want you to understand something gently and clearly as you sit with these words. I did not speak into your life right now by accident. I know the rhythm of your thoughts, the worries that sit quietly in the back of your mind, and the questions you carry even when you do not share them with anyone else. I have watched you moving through your days, handling responsibilities, managing expectations, and trying to hold everything together even when you feel stretched thin. You rarely stop long enough to sit with your own heart, because life often pulls you forward before you can process what you are feeling. Yet right now you have paused, even if you did not mean to. And that pause matters more than you realize. I wanted this moment with you because there are things I have wanted to say for a long time. Not words meant to frighten you, not words meant to pressure you, but words meant to reach the part of you that has been quietly searching for something deeper than the surface of everyday life. You have lived through many moments where you wondered whether anyone truly understood what you carry inside. You have been strong when you had to be strong. You have continued forward even when your energy felt low. And even though you have kept moving, there have been times when you felt a quiet emptiness you could not fully explain. I see that part of your life very clearly. Nothing about your journey has been hidden from me. I have watched the choices you made, the situations you navigated, and the moments when you simply did your best with what you had. So when I say that I wanted to stop you for a moment, I am speaking as someone who knows you deeply, not as a distant voice, but as the one who has walked beside you through everything you have faced. You may feel a little curious about why this moment matters so much. From where you sit, today might look like any other day. You may have plans waiting for you, tasks you still need to finish, people expecting your attention, and thoughts already moving ahead to the next thing you must handle. That is the nature of life around you. It moves quickly and rarely slows down on its own. But I want you to notice something about yourself right now. Even with everything else happening around you, something inside you allowed you to stay here for a moment longer. Something inside you chose to keep reading instead of moving on immediately. That small decision reveals more about your heart than you might think. It tells me that a part of you is still open to listening. You might not even be sure what you are listening for yet, and that is completely okay. Conversations like this do not begin with perfect understanding. They begin with willingness. You have that willingness right now, even if it is quiet and uncertain. And because you are here, I want to use this moment carefully. I am not rushing you, and I am not forcing you toward anything. I simply want to sit with you and speak honestly, the way a caring father would speak when he knows his child has been carrying more than they let others see. You may have experienced many voices in your life telling you what to do, what to believe, or how you should live. This moment is different from those voices. I am not here to overwhelm you with expectations or instructions. I am here because you matter to me in ways that go far beyond the surface of your daily routine. Your life is not just a sequence of days passing by. Your thoughts, your struggles, and your hopes all carry meaning that reaches deeper than what most people around you notice. That is why I chose to meet you here first, by simply stopping you gently, giving you space to breathe, and reminding you that you are not walking through this life unnoticed. My child, I want you to understand something that may surprise you, something many people struggle to believe about their own lives. I have seen every step you have taken, not only the steps that looked successful from the outside, but also the ones that felt uncertain, messy, or even painful. You often think about your journey in fragments. You remember certain decisions, certain seasons, certain people who entered your life and then disappeared again. From your perspective, it sometimes feels like your story has been a mixture of progress and confusion, like a path that occasionally twisted in directions you never expected. But when I look at your life, I do not see random pieces scattered across time. I see a story that has been unfolding moment by moment, including the parts you once thought were mistakes or detours. Sit with that thought for a moment. Let it sink deeper into your heart instead of rushing past it. The experiences that shaped you, the conversations that stayed with you long after they ended, the quiet nights when you stared into the darkness wondering what you should do next, none of those moments slipped past my attention. You may feel as though some seasons of your life disappeared unnoticed, especially when you were carrying burdens you rarely talked about. Yet I was aware of every one of those moments. I saw the courage it took for you to keep moving forward when you were not sure where the road ahead would lead. I watched you handle responsibilities even when your strength felt thin. I noticed the patience you showed in situations where frustration could easily have taken control. Your life has never been invisible to me. You might have felt overlooked by people around you at times. Perhaps you even wondered whether anyone truly understood what you were going through. But I want you to hear this from me directly, not as an abstract idea but as a deeply personal truth. I have been paying attention to your life with care that goes far beyond what most people would expect. Think about the seasons when you had to grow quietly without applause. Think about the lessons you learned through circumstances that stretch your patience and challenge your confidence. Those experiences were not meaningless. They became part of the strength you carry today. Now breathe slowly and allow yourself to acknowledge how far you have actually come. Many people rush past their own growth because they remain focused only on what still feels unfinished. I want you to see the road behind you for a moment. Notice the resilience that developed inside you during times when you had very little certainty about the future. Notice how you continued to search for meaning even when answers seemed distant. Those qualities did not appear in your life by accident. They grew through the very experiences you once wished you could escape. Let me invite you to reflect more deeply on something else as we continue speaking together. When you look at your own past, you may instinctively highlight moments you regret or situations you wish had unfolded differently. That is a common way people evaluate their lives. The human mind often lingers on imperfections, replaying them again and again as if those moments define everything that followed. Yet the story I see when I look at your journey carries far more nuance and beauty than the narrow version you sometimes tell yourself. Your life contains courage that you rarely give yourself credit for. It contains decisions where you chose integrity even when the easier path stood right in front of you. It contains kindness that you offered to others even during seasons when you were quietly hurting inside. I saw each of those choices. I remember the times when you helped someone even though you were exhausted. I remember the moments when you held your words carefully because you did not want to wound another person with anger. These things matter. They reveal the character growing inside you, even if you did not notice it happening. Now listen closely to what I am about to say because it may reshape the way you view your past. Your life has never been a series of wasted chapters. Every experience has contributed something meaningful to the person you are becoming. Some lessons arrived gently, while others came through challenges that tested your patience. Both types of experiences have shaped your perspective and deepened your understanding of what truly matters. That is why I am inviting you to stop judging your life too harshly. Instead, look at your journey with curiosity and compassion. Consider how each season prepared you in ways that may only become clear later. There are patterns in your story that you might not have noticed yet. Situations that once felt like obstacles were quietly redirecting your path toward growth you needed. People who entered your life briefly sometimes left behind insights that stayed with you longer than you realized. These things were not accidents scattered randomly across time. They were threads woven into a larger story still unfolding. I want you to hold that perspective gently as we continue our conversation. Your past does not need to be erased or rewritten for your future to carry hope. Instead, your past can become a source of wisdom that guides your next steps. You are not standing at a dead end, even if certain parts of your life once felt uncertain. You are standing on a path that continues forward, and I am here with you as you take the next step. My child, I want to speak about something you rarely show to others. There are questions living inside your mind that you do not always voice aloud. Some of those questions appear late at night when the world around you becomes quiet. Others surface during moments when you pause long enough to think about the direction your life is taking. These thoughts do not make you weak. They reveal that your heart is searching for something deeper than routine and obligation. You have asked yourself whether you are moving in the right direction. You have wondered whether the decisions you made earlier in life are leading you where you truly want to go. Sometimes you look ahead and try to imagine the kind of life you hope to build, yet the picture feels incomplete. When those moments come, you might feel a mixture of curiosity and uncertainty. That inner dialogue is part of being human. Every thoughtful person eventually reaches a point where they begin asking questions that go beyond daily survival. And I want you to hear this clearly. Those questions do not disturb me. In fact, they matter greatly because they show that you are paying attention to your life instead of drifting through it without reflection. Let me invite you to explore those questions honestly rather than pushing them aside. Consider what your heart is truly searching for when those thoughts arise. Sometimes the mind asks practical questions about career, relationships, or responsibilities. Beneath those practical concerns, however, there is often a deeper longing. You want your life to carry meaning. You want to know that your choices matter and that your days are not simply passing by without purpose. That desire for meaning is something I placed within you. It acts like a compass quietly pointing you toward growth and understanding. Instead of fearing those questions, sit with them patiently. Let them guide you toward greater clarity about what you value and who you want to become. When you approach your life with curiosity instead of anxiety, you create space for insight to appear. Answers rarely arrive instantly, and that is perfectly natural. The important step is remaining open to the process of discovery. Allow yourself to think deeply without rushing toward conclusions. The journey of understanding yourself takes time, and there is wisdom in giving that process the patience it deserves. As you continue reflecting on the questions within your heart, I want to offer you a gentle invitation. Instead of seeing uncertainty as a problem that must be eliminated immediately, try viewing it as an opportunity to grow. Life rarely unfolds with perfect clarity from the beginning. People discover their direction gradually through experiences, relationships, and thoughtful reflection. You are still in the middle of that unfolding story. Nothing about your current questions means you have failed or taken the wrong path. It simply means you are aware enough to notice the deeper layers of your life. That awareness is valuable. It opens the door to choices made with intention rather than habit. When you examine your life carefully, you begin to recognize what truly aligns with your values and what no longer fits the person you are becoming. I encourage you to keep exploring those thoughts without fear. Write them down if you need to. Speak about them with people you trust. Spend time in quiet reflection when the noise of the world becomes overwhelming. Through these moments of honesty, your perspective will gradually sharpen. You will begin to notice patterns in your desires and priorities that reveal the direction most meaningful for you. And as you gain that clarity, your confidence will grow naturally. You will move forward not because someone forced you toward a specific path, but because you understand your own purpose more deeply. I am here with you during that process, guiding gently rather than pushing you impatiently. Your questions are not obstacles standing in the way of your future. They are signs that your mind and heart are actively engaging with life. Continue exploring them with courage and humility. In time, those questions will transform into understanding that shapes the next chapter of your journey. My child, let your thoughts slow down instead of rushing ahead to the next distraction waiting for your attention. I know how quickly your days move. Your mind is often filled with responsibilities, expectations, plans, and concerns that demand your energy from morning until night. Because of that pace, meaningful moments sometimes slip past you before you even notice them. Yet this moment is different. I did not reach for your attention now because everything in your life suddenly became perfect. I did not wait for a time when you felt completely confident or completely certain about your future. I chose this moment because your heart is open enough to hear something deeper. You may not feel especially prepared for a conversation like this. In fact, you might even feel slightly unsure about why you are still reading these words instead of moving on. But stay here with me anyway. Give yourself permission to remain in this quiet space for a while. I am not speaking to you because you earned a perfect score in life. I am speaking to you because you matter to me right now, exactly as you are, with every question, every hope, and every hidden worry still present in your heart. You may have noticed that there are seasons when life seems loud and crowded with voices competing for your attention. Advice comes from many directions. Opinions arrive constantly through conversations, media, and the endless stream of messages surrounding you. When that noise builds, it becomes difficult for you to recognize the quieter guidance meant specifically for you. That is why I am inviting you to slow down in this moment. Take a deeper breath and allow your mind to settle. Notice the calm that begins to appear when you stop racing through thoughts. That calm is not accidental. It is the space where understanding begins to grow. I chose to speak to you now because something inside you has reached a point where you are ready to listen differently. Perhaps you have been through enough experiences to realize that constant distraction does not satisfy the deeper parts of your life. Perhaps you have noticed that certain achievements or routines still leave you wondering if something more meaningful exists beyond the surface of daily living. These realizations are not signs of failure. They are signs of awareness growing inside you. Awareness often arrives quietly, without dramatic announcements. It simply nudges you to look more closely at your life. I want you to welcome that awareness instead of resisting it. Let it guide you toward reflection rather than anxiety. You are not being pushed into something unfamiliar. You are simply being invited to pay attention to the deeper direction your life is already moving toward. Now listen closely and allow my words to reach the deeper places in your mind. I want you to recognize that timing matters in ways you may not fully understand yet. There were moments in your past when you would not have paused long enough to receive a message like this. At other times you might have dismissed it quickly because your focus was fixed entirely on immediate concerns. But today you are still here, and that means your heart has made room for a different kind of conversation. Stay with me and reflect on that truth. You are not here by accident. Even the curiosity you feel right now is meaningful. Curiosity opens doors that routine would normally keep closed. Let the curiosity guide you rather than dismissing it as coincidence. When you allow yourself to explore deeper questions about life, purpose, and direction, you begin stepping into a more intentional way of living. That step does not require dramatic changes overnight. It begins with simple awareness. Pay attention to your own thoughts. Notice how certain ideas linger longer than others. Observe the emotions that rise when you imagine the kind of future you truly desire. These reflections reveal the inner compass guiding your decisions. I want you to follow that compass carefully instead of ignoring it. Let your awareness grow stronger each day. Make space for quiet reflection even when the world urges you to stay busy. You may discover that the clarity you seek has been quietly forming inside you all along. I am speaking now because this is the right moment for you to recognize that inner guidance and begin trusting it. Continue listening with patience as our conversation unfolds, because each insight you receive today can shape the direction of your tomorrow. My child, I want to talk with you about something that has been quietly present in your life for a long time. You have been carrying more than many people around you realize. On the outside, you often appear steady and capable. You manage responsibilities, fulfill expectations, and continue moving forward even when circumstances become complicated. Yet inside your mind there are moments when the weight of everything you carry becomes difficult to ignore. You think about obligations waiting for your attention. You think about decisions that could influence the future. Sometimes you think about the past and wonder whether certain things could have been handled differently. These thoughts accumulate gradually, forming a weight that rests quietly on your shoulders. You may have learned to carry that weight without showing it openly. You handle situations carefully so that others do not see how much effort it sometimes takes to remain composed. I understand that effort. I see the patience you practice when frustration tries to rise. I see the determination you use to continue moving forward when circumstances feel overwhelming. Let me invite you to pause right now and acknowledge that weight honestly instead of pretending it does not exist. You do not have to hide your struggles during this moment with me. Your strength does not come from pretending everything is easy. Real strength appears when you recognize what you are carrying and still choose to keep moving forward. Take a breath and reflect on the challenges you have already navigated. Consider the responsibilities you have managed through seasons when your energy felt limited. Think about the situations where you remained patient even when others might have given up quickly. Those moments reveal a resilience that deserves recognition. Many people overlook their own resilience because they focus only on what remains unfinished. I want you to see the full picture of your effort. You have handled more than you sometimes admit to yourself. That realization should not discourage you. Instead, it should remind you of the quiet strength that has been developing inside you over time. Now let me invite you to consider something important about the burdens you carry. Not every weight placed on your shoulders belongs there forever. Some responsibilities are necessary parts of life, yet others remain because you feel obligated to carry them long after they have served their purpose. Take a moment and examine the thoughts or worries that continue occupying your mind. Ask yourself honestly whether each one deserves the space it currently holds. You may discover that certain concerns remain simply because you have grown accustomed to thinking about them. Habits of thought can become heavy if they are never questioned. That is why I am encouraging you to evaluate what you carry with greater awareness. Release what no longer helps you grow. Hold on to what truly matters. This process requires courage because it asks you to reconsider familiar patterns of thinking. Yet it also creates freedom when unnecessary burdens begin to fade. Imagine how your mind might feel if you allowed yourself to put down even a small portion of the worries that constantly demand your attention. That sense of relief is possible when you practice thoughtful reflection. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility or ignore important matters in your life. Instead, I am guiding you toward balance. Responsibility should guide your actions, not consume your peace. You deserve moments of calm where your mind is not overwhelmed by endless pressure. Give yourself permission to step back occasionally and breathe. Allow your perspective to widen so you can see the larger picture of your life rather than focusing only on immediate stress. You have been carrying much with patience and determination. Continue moving forward, but do so with awareness and compassion for yourself. Your journey does not require you to bear every burden alone. As we continue this conversation, keep reflecting on what truly belongs in your life and what can be gently set aside. That awareness will help you walk forward with greater clarity and peace. My child, let your mind slow down and allow yourself to be honest about something that has shaped you more deeply than you often admit. There have been moments in your life when you felt alone in ways that words rarely captured. You were surrounded by people, conversations, responsibilities, and movement, yet inside your heart there were quiet spaces where you wondered whether anyone truly understood what you were going through. You carried thoughts you did not feel comfortable sharing. You held emotions behind a calm expression because you did not want to trouble others or appear weak. I saw those moments clearly. I noticed the evenings when you returned home tired not only in your body, but also in your spirit. I remember the times when you looked at your situation and quietly asked yourself whether things would ever feel lighter. Those questions were real, and the emotions behind them mattered. Now listen to me carefully and let this truth settle inside you. Your loneliness never meant you were abandoned. The feeling of being alone often appears when a person is growing through experiences others cannot easily see. Growth sometimes happens in quiet seasons where applause is absent and understanding from others feels limited. During those times you might have believed that no one was paying attention to your struggle. Yet I was paying attention every step of the way. I watched the patience you practiced when circumstances were difficult. I noticed how you continued fulfilling your responsibilities even when you wished someone else would step in and help. You may not have recognized it then, but those seasons were shaping your strength in ways that would influence your future. Let me invite you to think about those moments differently now. Instead of viewing them as empty chapters in your story, see them as spaces where resilience quietly formed inside you. The courage you carry today did not appear suddenly. It developed during the very moments when you believed you were facing life alone. I want you to acknowledge that growth with honesty and respect for yourself. Take a moment and breathe slowly. Reflect on how those experiences have shaped the person you are becoming. When you recognize your own resilience, the past begins to look less like a series of lonely struggles and more like a path where strength gradually took root. Now come closer into this thought with me and consider what those seasons of loneliness also revealed about your heart. During those quiet times you became more aware of what truly matters to you. When external support felt limited, you had to listen more carefully to your own inner voice. That process helped you discover parts of yourself that might have remained hidden otherwise. I want you to remember specific moments when you chose patience instead of anger. Recall situations where you offered kindness even when you felt misunderstood. Those choices were not small or insignificant. They were expressions of character forming within you. Character grows through lived experience, not through comfort alone. Because of what you walked through, your understanding of others has deepened. You can now recognize pain in people that might go unnoticed by someone who has never faced similar challenges. That awareness gives you the ability to offer compassion in ways that feel genuine rather than forced. I want you to see that gift clearly. Do not dismiss it or assume it appeared by accident. Your life experiences shape that sensitivity. Now I invite you to do something practical. Look back on those seasons of loneliness without harsh judgment toward yourself. Instead, examine them with curiosity. Ask yourself what each experience taught you about strength, patience, and empathy. You may discover that even the most difficult moments carried lessons that prepared you for the future. Allow that understanding to settle into your perspective. The story of your life includes chapters where you felt alone, yet those chapters also contain the seeds of resilience and wisdom. Recognizing this truth can transform the way you see your past and guide the way you approach your future. My child, stay with me and turn your attention toward another reality that quietly influences the way you think about your life. Time moves forward whether you notice it closely or not. Days pass, seasons change, and years accumulate faster than many people expect. At certain moments you become aware of this movement more clearly than usual. You might notice it when you reflect on how quickly a year disappeared, or when you realize how much your life has changed compared to earlier seasons. That awareness can feel surprising, sometimes even unsettling. You begin asking yourself deeper questions about what truly matters. You may think about the direction your life is heading and wonder whether your current path aligns with the hopes you once carried. These reflections are natural, and they deserve careful attention rather than avoidance. Let me invite you to pause and observe your relationship with time honestly. Instead of rushing past this thought, sit with it for a moment. Imagine your life as a journey unfolding step by step. Every day offers an opportunity to shape that journey through your decisions and attitudes. The awareness of time passing is not meant to create fear. It exists to encourage clarity. When you realize that your days are valuable, you begin choosing more carefully how you spend them. That shift in awareness can change the way you approach ordinary routines. Simple moments become more meaningful when you recognize they will not repeat in exactly the same way again. I want you to consider how you use your time today. Notice where your energy flows naturally. Observe the activities that bring genuine fulfillment and the ones that leave you feeling drained or distracted. This reflection helps you understand which parts of your life deserve more attention. Time is a resource that cannot be stored or recovered once it passes. Recognizing this truth does not require anxiety. Instead, it invites intentional living. You have the ability to decide what deserves your focus moving forward. I encourage you to use that ability wisely. When you approach your days with intention, even small actions begin contributing to a life that feels purposeful rather than rushed. Now I want you to explore another aspect of time that many people overlook. The passage of time also reveals how much growth can occur quietly in a person's life. Think back to who you were several years ago. Notice how your perspective has evolved through experiences, relationships, and lessons learned along the way. Growth rarely announces itself with dramatic signals. It develops gradually through reflection, adjustment, and perseverance. You might not always see the changes happening in real time. Yet when you look back over a longer stretch of your life, the transformation becomes clearer. I want you to acknowledge that growth honestly. Do not dismiss the progress you have made simply because you are still working toward certain goals. Development is an ongoing process rather than a final destination. Now let me invite you to consider how you want your future seasons to unfold. If time continues moving forward, and it will, what kind of life do you want to build within it? What qualities do you want to strengthen in your character? Which relationships deserve deeper attention? These questions are not meant to pressure you into immediate answers. They are invitations for thoughtful reflection. When you approach your future with awareness, you begin making decisions that align with the person you hope to become. Take this moment seriously. Reflect on how you can invest your time in ways that bring meaning to your days and peace to your mind. Your future is not a distant abstraction. It begins with the choices you make today. I am encouraging you to treat those choices with care, knowing that each step contributes to the life you are gradually creating. My child, as you reflect on the weight of time and the value of each passing day, hear this as well. Every moment you choose to support the spreading of my word becomes a seed planted into eternity. I told you long ago, one sows and another reaps, and today I invite you to become a sower of light for souls who are still searching in darkness. When you offer support through Super Thanks, membership, or a gift through PayPal, the link is waiting in the description. You are pouring oil into a lamp that continues shining for hearts that desperately need truth before their time runs out. Do not underestimate what a single act of obedience can ignite. Even a small seed can grow into a harvest that touches lives you may never meet. I see every gift offered with sincerity, and I multiply what is placed into my hands like rivers overflowing beyond their banks. I will return to you wisdom, provision, and favor pressed down and running over. This moment is not random. It is an appointment placed before you. So do not delay, my child. Plant your seed today and help carry my message before it is too late. My child, I know you spend much of your time thinking about what has already happened, decisions you made, opportunities that appeared and then disappeared, conversations that still echo in your memory. That reflection is natural, but I want you to shift your focus for a moment. Turn your thoughts forward and imagine the life that is still unfolding in front of you. Do not rush past this invitation. Sit quietly and consider the future you are approaching. The path ahead of you is not empty space waiting randomly for events to occur. It is a landscape shaped gradually by the choices you make today. Every decision, every attitude, every action you take becomes a small brushstroke on the canvas of your future. I want you to see that canvas clearly. Imagine standing at the edge of a wide horizon early in the morning, watching light slowly rise over a field that has not yet been planted. That field represents your days ahead. What grows there depends largely on what you choose to plant now. Some people move through life without recognizing this connection between present choices and future outcomes. They allow habits, distractions, and external pressures to guide them without reflection. But you are not meant to live that way. You have the ability to think deeply about your direction and adjust your steps accordingly. So pause here with me and consider your future carefully. Ask yourself what kind of character you want your life to reveal over time. Think about the values you want to shape your decisions when circumstances become challenging. Imagine the kind of peace you want to carry within your heart as the years continue unfolding. These reflections are not empty dreams. They are seeds that influence the way you live each day. When you understand what you are aiming toward, your daily actions begin aligning naturally with that vision. I want you to feel hopeful when you think about the future, not anxious or overwhelmed. The road ahead does not require perfection from you. It requires awareness and intention. You have already gained wisdom through the experiences behind you, and that wisdom will guide your steps moving forward. Take a breath and allow yourself to imagine what could grow in your life if you move forward with clarity instead of hesitation. And now let me invite you to do something practical with that vision. Do not leave your future as a vague idea floating in the distance. Bring it closer to your present moment. Think about one area of your life where you want to see growth or change. Perhaps it involves your relationships, your work, your personal discipline, or the way you care for your mind and spirit. Identify that area honestly. Once you see it clearly, begin asking yourself what small step you can take today that moves you closer to the future you want to build. Notice how empowering that realization can become. Your future is not shaped only by dramatic turning points. It develops through steady, thoughtful choices repeated over time. That is why I am encouraging you to approach your days with awareness rather than rushing through them automatically. When you wake each morning, remind yourself that the hours ahead carry potential. You have the ability to invest them wisely. When challenges appear, treat them as opportunities to strengthen your character rather than obstacles that steal your motivation. And when moments of peace arrive, pause long enough to appreciate them. Gratitude deepens your awareness of life's richness. I also want you to remember that the future does not unfold in isolation. The way you live influences the people around you. Your kindness, your patience, your honesty, these qualities ripple outward into the lives of others. When you choose to act with integrity, you quietly encourage those around you to do the same. This is part of the beauty of a life lived with intention. It multiplies meaning beyond your personal experience. So step forward with courage. Do not let uncertainty freeze your movement. Instead, let your awareness guide you steadily. The future you are approaching is not a distant mystery. It is the natural result of the direction you begin choosing today. My child, inside your mind there is a quiet voice that has been guiding you longer than you may realize. You have heard it many times, even if you did not always recognize where it was coming from. Sometimes it appears as a gentle nudge encouraging you to choose kindness when irritation would feel easier. Sometimes it reminds you to slow down and think before making a decision that could affect someone else. At other times it warns you when your actions begin drifting away from the values you truly believe in. That inner guidance is often subtle. It rarely arrives with loud commands or dramatic announcements. Instead, it appears as a quiet sense of direction that you can either follow or ignore. I want you to pay closer attention to that voice. Do not dismiss it as a random thought or a passing feeling. It represents the deeper wisdom growing within your heart. Your conscience acts like a compass pointing toward what is right even when circumstances become complicated. Many people spend years ignoring that compass because they allow external noise to dominate their thinking. They follow trends, pressures, or impulses without pausing to consider whether those influences align with their deeper values. But you have the ability to live differently. I am inviting you to treat your conscience as a trusted guide rather than an inconvenience. When you feel that quiet nudge encouraging patience, listen to it. When you sense hesitation before making a decision, pause long enough to reflect on what your heart is telling you. That moment of reflection can prevent choices you might later regret. Your conscience does not exist to restrict your freedom. It exists to protect the integrity of your life. When you follow it consistently, your decisions begin reflecting the values that matter most to you. Over time, that alignment creates a sense of inner peace that cannot be replaced by external approval. Now let me encourage you to strengthen your connection with that inner guidance. Start by creating moments of quiet where you can actually hear your thoughts without constant interruption. Turn away from distractions for a short time each day and allow your mind to settle. During those moments, reflect on the decisions you are currently facing. Ask yourself what choice aligns most closely with the person you want to become. Notice how your conscience responds when you consider different options. Often the right direction reveals itself through a sense of clarity or calm that accompanies certain decisions. When you experience that clarity, do not hesitate to act on it. Courage grows when you follow your conscience even in situations where the easier path points elsewhere. I also want you to remember that your conscience develops through reflection and learning. Continue seeking wisdom through conversations, reading, and thoughtful observation of the world around you. Each insight you gain sharpens your ability to recognize what is true and meaningful. Over time, your decisions will become more confident because they arise from a deeper understanding of your values. When you live in harmony with your conscience, you carry a quiet strength within you. You no longer depend entirely on external validation because you know you are acting in alignment with your inner convictions. That confidence becomes a foundation for a life guided by integrity. So listen carefully to that voice inside you. Respect it. Protect it. Let it guide the choices that shape your future. When you honor your conscience consistently, you build a life that feels authentic, purposeful, and deeply aligned with who you are meant to be. My child, I want you to look honestly at something that has quietly shaped many of your days. Your attention has often been pulled in many directions at once. You live in a world that constantly competes for your focus. Messages appear on screens, conversations demand responses, responsibilities multiply, and expectations from others sometimes crowd the quiet space inside your mind. In the middle of all that noise, it becomes very easy for your deeper priorities to fade into the background. I have watched you navigate this environment. I have seen how quickly a day can fill with tasks that feel urgent but leave little room for reflection. That pace can slowly train your mind to move automatically, reacting to whatever appears next instead of choosing intentionally where your energy should go. I want you to notice this pattern clearly. Do not rush past the observation. Sit with it for a moment and examine how distractions enter your life. Some of them arrive through technology, some through social expectations, and others through habits that developed over time. None of these influences are necessarily evil on their own. Yet they can gradually crowd out the quiet awareness you need in order to live with clarity. When your attention is constantly scattered, your ability to listen to your deeper values becomes weaker. That is why I am inviting you to pause and evaluate what truly deserves your focus. Ask yourself honestly how much of your energy goes toward things that do not bring lasting meaning to your life. Notice how easy it is to spend hours moving from one distraction to another without feeling fulfilled afterward. These patterns are common in the world around you, but they do not have to define the way you live. You have the ability to reclaim your attention. That begins by recognizing that your time and mental energy are valuable resources. When you protect them carefully, your life begins to feel more intentional. Imagine what it would be like to wake each day with a clear sense of purpose rather than allowing the day to be shaped entirely by external demands. That clarity is possible when you decide to guide your attention instead of letting distractions guide you. Now I want you to take a practical step with this understanding. Look at the routines that fill your daily schedule and examine them with honesty. Which activities genuinely contribute to your growth, your relationships, and your sense of purpose? Which ones simply occupy your attention without adding meaningful value? Do not answer those questions quickly. Reflect on them carefully. The goal is not to remove every form of entertainment or relaxation from your life. Rest and enjoyment are important parts of a balanced life. The goal is to ensure that distractions do not quietly replace what matters most. I invite you to create small moments of awareness throughout your day. When you reach for your phone or move toward a familiar routine, pause briefly and ask yourself whether that choice aligns with your deeper priorities. That simple pause can gradually reshape the way you spend your time. You might discover that certain distractions lose their power once you examine them closely. At the same time, meaningful activities, conversations with loved ones, thoughtful reflection, creative work, acts of kindness begin receiving more of your attention. When your focus shifts in that direction, your life naturally gains depth. I also want you to notice how peace grows when your attention is not constantly scattered. A focused mind feels calmer and more capable of making wise decisions. You begin seeing connections between your choices and your long-term goals. Instead of feeling rushed by every new demand, you move through your day with a steady sense of direction. This change does not happen overnight, but it begins the moment you decide to guard your attention more carefully. Your life deserves that level of care. The direction of your future will be shaped largely by where you place your attention today. Choose that direction wisely. My child, you have paused long enough to listen to these words, and that pause itself is significant. Many people move through their days without ever stopping to reflect on the deeper direction of their lives. They remain caught in constant motion, responding to circumstances without questioning where those responses are leading them. Yet you are here, giving your attention to a conversation that invites reflection and awareness. I want you to understand why that matters. Moments of reflection act like doorways in the middle of an ordinary day. When you step through that doorway, you enter a space where your thoughts become clearer and your priorities begin to reveal themselves. That space allows you to examine your life with honesty rather than simply reacting to the next demand placed in front of you. Think about how rare those moments can be. Life often encourages speed rather than reflection. It rewards immediate responses instead of thoughtful consideration. Yet genuine understanding grows in quiet moments like this one. That is why I am encouraging you to treat this moment with care. Do not rush through it as if it were just another passing thought. Stay present and let your mind explore what these reflections are revealing about your life. Notice the way your perspective begins shifting when you allow yourself to pause. Concerns that once felt overwhelming sometimes appear smaller when you view them from a calmer state of mind. Ideas about your future become clearer when your thoughts are not scattered by constant noise. This moment is giving you that clarity. It is offering you the chance to step back from routine and examine the direction your life is moving. When you treat moments like this with respect, they become turning points that quietly reshape your decisions. The insight you gain today can influence choices you make tomorrow. That is how meaningful change begins, not through dramatic events, but through thoughtful awareness that gradually transforms the way you approach life. And now let me invite you to deepen your awareness of what this moment can become. Reflection alone is valuable, but reflection combined with action becomes powerful. After you finish listening to these words, your life will continue moving forward just as it always has. The difference lies in how you respond to the insights you have gained here. Take a moment and ask yourself what this conversation has awakened inside you. Perhaps it reminded you of values you want to strengthen. Perhaps it helped you recognize habits that no longer serve the life you want to build. Whatever realization appears, do not ignore it. Write it down. Think about it later in the day. Allow it to guide at least one decision you make in the near future. That step turns reflection into transformation. I also want you to remember that meaningful change often begins with small actions. You do not need to redesign your entire life in a single day. Choose one area where you want to act differently and begin there. Maybe it involves dedicating more time to relationships that matter to you. Maybe it involves protecting quiet moments for reflection so your mind remains clear. Maybe it involves adjusting the way you respond to challenges so that patience replaces frustration. Each small decision moves your life in a particular direction. When those decisions align with your deeper values, they gradually build a life that feels purposeful and authentic. I am inviting you to treat this moment as the beginning of that alignment. Do not see it as a temporary pause before returning to old patterns. Instead, see it as a reminder that your life is always shaped by the awareness you choose to carry forward. Hold on to the clarity you feel right now. Let it influence the way you think, the way you act, and the way you approach the days ahead. This moment may seem quiet and simple, but its meaning can echo through the future if you allow it to guide your next steps. My child, there is something inside you that I want you to notice again. Even after everything you have walked through, even after the disappointments, the unanswered questions, the seasons when life felt heavier than you expected, there is still a quiet place in your heart where hope continues to live. I know you've sometimes tried to hide that hope from yourself. You have learned to be careful with it because you have experienced moments when things did not unfold the way you once imagined. But I want you to look at that hope honestly instead of pushing it aside. Sit for a moment and pay attention to the way it still rises inside you when you think about the future. It appears when you imagine a life that feels meaningful, when you picture relationships that carry warmth and trust, when you consider the possibility that the best parts of your story may still be ahead. That quiet spark within you is not something fragile that should be ignored. It is a living signal that your heart has not given up on the idea that life can still grow into something beautiful. I place that hope inside you for a reason. Hope works like a light in the distance during a long journey. It does not show you every detail of the road ahead, yet it reminds you that movement forward is still worth the effort. Think about the moments when that feeling appeared unexpectedly. Perhaps it came during a peaceful walk, or during a conversation that reminded you how deeply human connection can matter. Maybe it appeared during a quiet evening when you allowed your mind to imagine what your life could look like if you followed your deeper values more closely. Those moments reveal that your spirit still longs for growth, meaning, and renewal. Now listen carefully to this invitation I am giving you. Do not silence that hope simply because you have experienced disappointment before. Instead, nurture it. Protect it from the voices that try to convince you that change is impossible or that your best opportunities have already passed. Those voices do not know your full story. Your life is still unfolding, and hope is the energy that allows you to keep shaping that story intentionally. Now I want you to do something with this realization rather than leaving it as a pleasant thought. Begin by acknowledging your hope openly. Do not treat it like a secret that must remain hidden behind caution. Say to yourself, I still believe my life can grow in meaningful ways. Allow those words to settle in your mind. When hope becomes something you actively recognize, it begins influencing the decisions you make each day. Look at your routines and ask yourself whether they support the future you hope for. Examine the way you speak to yourself when challenges appear. Your inner dialogue matters more than you realize. If you constantly tell yourself that improvement is unlikely, your actions will gradually follow that expectation. But if you treat hope as a guiding force, your behavior begins aligning with the possibility of growth. Let me invite you to take a simple step right now. Think of one area in your life where you still wish for something better. It might involve healing a relationship, developing a skill you care about, or strengthening your sense of peace and purpose. Once you identify that area, consider one small action you can take that moves you closer to the life you hope for. Do not wait for perfect conditions before taking that step. Begin where you are. Progress often starts with small, consistent efforts that grow stronger over time. Remember that hope is not passive dreaming. It is a quiet determination that keeps your heart open to transformation. I am encouraging you to keep that determination alive. Your future does not belong to the fears that sometimes whisper in your mind. It belongs to the courage you show when you continue moving forward, with hope still guiding your vision. My child, come closer into this next thought with me, because it touches something many people spend years searching for without fully understanding where it comes from. You desire peace. You may not always describe it with that exact word, but deep within you there is a longing for a life that feels calm, steady, and meaningful rather than constantly pressured or restless. You have probably noticed how the world around you often promises peace through achievement, possessions, or approval from others. Those promises can appear convincing at first. You might think that reaching a certain milestone will finally allow you to relax. You might believe that gaining recognition, or securing certain circumstances will remove the tension you feel inside. Yet as time passes, many of those promises reveal themselves to be temporary. The satisfaction they bring fades quickly, leaving you searching for something deeper. I want you to understand where genuine peace begins. It does not come from controlling every situation around you. Life will always contain elements you cannot predict or manage completely. Instead, peace grows when your inner life becomes aligned with your deeper values and your understanding of what truly matters. Think of peace as a river flowing steadily through your heart. When your decisions move in harmony with your conscience and your purpose, that river flows freely. When your actions drift away from those guiding values, the flow becomes blocked, creating tension and uncertainty. I want you to pay attention to that inner flow. Notice the difference between moments when you feel settled and moments when your mind becomes restless. Those emotional signals are not random. They reveal whether your life is moving in alignment with the direction meant for you. Now pause and consider this carefully. Peace is not something you chase across the landscape of external success. It is something you cultivate within yourself through the way you live, the way you think, and the way you treat others. Let me invite you to explore what that direction toward peace might look like in your daily life. Begin by examining your priorities. Ask yourself whether the things consuming most of your time truly reflect the values you want guiding your life. If they do not, consider adjusting your focus gradually. You do not need to change everything at once. Start by strengthening one practice that supports your inner peace. It could be spending quiet moments in reflection each day, engaging in conversations that nurture meaningful relationships, or choosing patience when stressful situations arise. Each of these actions strengthens the foundation of peace within your life. I also want you to remember that peace grows when you treat yourself and others with compassion. Harsh judgment, whether directed toward yourself or someone else, often creates tension that lingers long after the moment has passed. When you practice understanding instead of immediate criticism, your mind begins settling into a calmer rhythm. That rhythm allows you to approach challenges with clarity instead of anxiety. Another step toward peace involves accepting that your journey will include both successes and setbacks. Perfection is not required for your life to carry meaning. Growth happens through learning and adjustment over time. When you allow yourself that patience, your heart relaxes into a more stable state of being. So I want you to carry this invitation with you as we continue our conversation. Seek the direction that nurtures peace rather than the path that simply promises quick rewards. And notice how your mind feels when you choose honesty, kindness, and thoughtful reflection. Those choices gradually create a life where peace becomes not just an occasional feeling but a steady presence guiding your days. You deserve that kind of life, and it begins with the direction you decide to follow from this moment forward. My child, I want you to consider something that many people misunderstand about transformation. Real change rarely begins with dramatic external events. It usually begins quietly within a person's thoughts, attitudes, and choices. From the outside, those inner shifts may appear small, almost invisible. Yet over time they become the very forces that reshape an entire life. I want you to think about the moments when you sensed a desire to grow beyond certain habits or patterns that once felt normal. Those moments did not appear randomly. They were signals that something inside you was beginning to awaken. Growth often begins as a quiet realization that the way things have been is not the way they must remain. Sit with that realization for a moment. Imagine your inner life as a garden. Every thought you allow to remain in your mind acts like a seed placed into that soil. Some seeds grow into attitudes that strengthen your character: patience, gratitude, courage, compassion. Others grow into patterns that drain your energy: resentment, fear, doubt about your own potential. I want you to observe what kind of seeds you have been planting in the garden of your mind. Do not judge yourself harshly as you reflect. Instead, examine your thoughts with curiosity. Notice how certain beliefs influence the way you see the world around you. If you constantly expect disappointment, your actions may unconsciously reinforce that expectation. But if you allow hope and intention to guide your thinking, your choices begin moving toward growth. This is why inner change matters so deeply. When your thoughts shift, your behavior gradually follows. The transformation begins inside before it becomes visible in the outer details of your life. I want you to take this idea seriously. Do not underestimate the power of your inner life. The direction of your future depends largely on what you cultivate within your mind today. Now I invite you to begin shaping that inner garden with intention. Start by paying attention to the way you speak to yourself during difficult moments. Your internal dialogue has a profound influence on your confidence and your willingness to continue growing. If your thoughts become harsh and discouraging, they can weaken your motivation. But when you practice speaking to yourself with honesty and encouragement, your mind begins supporting the effort required for change. So I want you to try something practical. When you notice a negative assumption forming in your thoughts, pause for a moment. Ask yourself whether that assumption reflects the truth or simply a fear repeating itself out of habit. That simple question can interrupt patterns that once felt automatic. Over time, you will begin replacing limiting beliefs with perspectives that allow growth. I also want you to cultivate quiet moments where reflection becomes part of your daily rhythm. During those moments, examine your recent choices and consider whether they align with the person you want to become. If you recognize a pattern that needs adjustment, treat it as an opportunity rather than a failure. Growth is not about perfection. It is about willingness to learn and adapt. Let your inner life become a place where wisdom gradually develops. When you nurture that inner environment carefully, the changes will eventually appear in the way you speak, the way you treat others, and the way you approach challenges. What begins as a quiet shift in your thoughts will slowly reshape the course of your life. My child, the transformation that begins inside your heart can also become a river that flows outward to others who are waiting for hope. When you nurture the garden within you, I invite you to plant one more seed. Support the spreading of my voice so that countless other hearts may awaken. I declared long ago, "Give, and it will be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." And that promise still breathes with life today. When you share through Super Thanks, channel membership, or a PayPal offering placed through the link in the description, you become a vessel through which my light travels farther than you can see. Each gift becomes oil in the lamp, manna for the weary, and a spark that ignites faith in souls who feel lost. I watch the hands that give with sincerity, and I release blessings that guard your path and strengthen your future. This is not merely generosity. It is partnership with the work I am doing in the hearts of many. So act now, my child. Sow into this message and help my voice reach those who must hear it before their hearts grow cold. My child, listening is one of the most powerful abilities you possess, yet it is also one of the most neglected in a world filled with constant noise. Many people hear sounds throughout their day without truly listening to what those sounds mean. Conversations happen quickly, opinions are exchanged rapidly, and distractions compete for attention at every moment. In that environment, genuine listening becomes rare. But I want you to understand why this ability matters so deeply for your life. Listening is not only about hearing the words spoken by others. It also involves paying attention to the quiet signals within your own heart and mind. When you practice true listening, you become aware of the subtle guidance that can help you make wiser decisions. Think about the difference between reacting immediately and pausing long enough to understand a situation fully. When you react without reflection, your choices may be driven by emotion or pressure. But when you listen carefully to others and to your inner conscience, you give yourself the chance to respond thoughtfully. A difference can shape the outcome of countless moments in your life. I want you to imagine listening as a doorway. On one side of the doorway exists the noise of everyday life, fast conversations, urgent demands, and constant activity. On the other side lies understanding. When you choose to listen deeply, you step through that doorway into a place where insight becomes possible. That insight helps you see the motivations behind people's words, the meaning behind your own emotions, and the direction your life may need to take next. Listening requires patience, but the wisdom it reveals often saves you from unnecessary conflict and confusion. I want you to recognize that skill as something valuable, not something ordinary. When you listen with intention, you begin understanding life in a deeper and more compassionate way. Now I invite you to strengthen this ability through deliberate practice. Start with the conversations you have each day. When someone speaks to you, give them your full attention instead of dividing your focus between their words and other distractions. Notice the tone of their voice, the emotions behind their sentences, and the meaning they may struggle to express directly. When you listen that way, your relationships become richer because people feel genuinely understood. I also want you to listen carefully to your own thoughts during moments of quiet reflection. Your mind often processes experiences beneath the surface, offering insights that appear only when you pause long enough to notice them. Set aside time occasionally to sit in silence and observe what your mind is telling you about your life. Ask yourself thoughtful questions about your decisions, your priorities, and your hopes for the future. Then remain still long enough to hear the answers forming within you. That practice strengthens your connection with your deeper wisdom. Listening also involves being open to learning from unexpected sources. Sometimes a simple conversation, a passage you read, or an observation during a quiet walk can reveal an idea that changes your perspective. When you approach life with a listening mindset, you remain receptive to those moments of insight. They begin guiding you toward choices that align with your values and your purpose. I want you to carry this invitation with you moving forward. Practice listening not only with your ears but with your attention and your heart. The more you develop that skill, the clearer your path will become. My child, I want to speak with you about something that quietly shapes the direction of every life, yet many people spend years avoiding it. It is the courage to face truth. You already know that truth is not always comfortable. Sometimes it asks you to look at parts of your life that feel unfinished or uncertain. Sometimes it reveals patterns you would rather ignore because changing them requires effort and humility. But listen carefully to what I am about to tell you. Truth is not your enemy. Truth is the light that allows you to walk forward without stumbling through confusion. When you avoid truth, your path becomes foggy and uncertain. When you face truth with honesty, your vision becomes clearer and your steps become stronger. I want you to take a quiet breath and consider the areas of your life where you already sense this invitation. You may feel it when you think about habits that no longer serve your growth. You may feel it when you recognize relationships that require deeper care or honest communication. You may feel it when your conscience gently reminds you that certain decisions deserve more thoughtful reflection. Those moments are not meant to shame you. They are opportunities to realign your life with the values you truly believe in. Facing truth requires courage because it asks you to step out of comfort and into awareness. Yet that courage becomes one of the greatest strengths you can develop. Imagine walking through a dark room filled with unfamiliar objects. Each step feels uncertain because you cannot see what lies ahead. Now imagine turning on a light. The room remains the same, but your ability to move confidently increases immediately. Truth works in a similar way within your life. When you allow yourself to see clearly, you gain the power to respond wisely. I want you to practice this courage in small ways each day. When a thought arises that reveals something you need to address, do not push it away quickly. Instead, pause and examine it with patience. Ask yourself what lesson it may carry. A moment of reflection transforms truth from something frightening into something empowering. And now let me invite you to deepen that practice by approaching truth with compassion toward yourself. Many people resist honesty because they fear harsh judgment, either from others or from their own inner voice. But growth does not flourish in an environment of constant self-criticism. Growth flourishes when honesty meets understanding. So when you recognize something in your life that needs change, treat that recognition as the beginning of improvement rather than a reason for shame. Speak to yourself the way a wise mentor would speak to someone they genuinely care about. Acknowledge the mistake or limitation honestly, then focus your attention on the next step forward. This approach allows truth to become a guide rather than a burden. I also encourage you to surround yourself with influences that support honest reflection. Seek conversations where openness is valued more than superficial agreement. Read and listen to ideas that challenge you to think more deeply about your choices. When your environment encourages truth rather than avoidance, your growth accelerates naturally. You will notice that decisions become easier because you are no longer hiding from the reality of your circumstances. Instead, you are working with that reality to build something stronger. Let me say something important here, my child. You do not need to face truth perfectly every time. Courage develops through repeated effort. Each time you choose honesty instead of avoidance, you strengthen the part of your character that leads toward wisdom. Over time, that strength becomes a reliable foundation for the life you are creating. Your future benefits every time you practice this courage today. My child, as you look back over the years of your life, you may notice moments that still carry a sense of regret. Perhaps there were decisions you wish you could revisit or words you wish had been spoken differently. Those memories sometimes return unexpectedly, bringing a quiet ache that makes you wonder whether those chapters will always define the way you see yourself. I want you to listen carefully to what I am about to say. Your past does not hold the authority to determine the value of your future. Mistakes, misunderstandings, and missed opportunities are experiences that many people carry. They are part of learning what it means to grow. Yet people often allow those experiences to become heavy labels attached to their identity. When that happens, they begin seeing themselves through the narrow lens of their worst moments instead of recognizing the broader story of their life. I want you to step away from that narrow lens. Instead, look at your life with the perspective of grace. Grace is the understanding that a person is more than the sum of their mistakes. It acknowledges that growth and change remain possible even after difficult chapters have occurred. Think about how you treat others when they admit an error or express regret. If you care about them, you likely encourage them to learn from the experience and move forward. I want you to offer that same compassion to yourself. Allow the lessons from your past to remain as wisdom, but release the unnecessary weight of constant self-condemnation. Holding on to guilt longer than necessary does not improve your future decisions. It only drains your energy. Grace, on the other hand, frees you to use your experiences as guidance for better choices ahead. Imagine placing your past experiences on a table in front of you like pages from a long journal. Each page contains a story. Some pages describe success and joy. Others describe confusion or disappointment. Instead of tearing out the difficult pages, read them carefully and learn what they teach. Then close the journal gently and step forward with the knowledge you gained. Now let me invite you to practice grace in a practical way. When a memory surfaces that carries regret, Pause before allowing that regret to shape your self-image. Ask yourself what the experience taught you about responsibility, empathy, or wisdom. By focusing on the lesson rather than the shame, you transform the memory into a source of growth. I also want you to recognize that grace does not mean ignoring the impact of your actions. If a situation requires apology or reconciliation, take that step with sincerity. Honest repair strengthens your character and rebuilds trust where possible. But once you have taken responsibility, allow yourself to move forward without repeatedly punishing yourself. Life is meant to continue unfolding. Holding on to endless regret prevents you from investing fully in the present moment. Another aspect of grace involves recognizing the progress you have made since those earlier experiences occurred. You are not the same person you were years ago. Your perspective has evolved, your understanding has deepened, and your priorities may have shifted in meaningful ways. That growth deserves recognition. When you acknowledge how far you have come, your confidence in the future increases. My child, I want you to carry this truth with you. Grace creates space for renewal. It reminds you that your story remains open to new chapters filled with purpose and kindness. Let that understanding settle into your heart. When you walk forward with grace toward yourself and others, you create a life marked not by regret but by wisdom and compassion. My child, right now, as you read these words, you are standing in front of something far more significant than you might first realize. You are standing in front of opportunity. I know that word may sound ordinary at first. Many people speak about opportunity as if it simply refers to career moves, financial chances, or new circumstances appearing in life. But the opportunity I'm speaking about goes deeper than that. I am talking about the opportunity that exists within your heart in this very moment. The opportunity to respond differently to your life than you have in the past. Sit with that thought for a moment. Do not rush past it. Let it settle into your mind. You have reached a point where reflection has begun to reveal things about your journey. You have looked at your past with honesty. You have considered the burdens you carried and the questions that shaped your thinking. Now you are standing at a quiet crossroads where awareness meets choice. That crossroads is where opportunity truly begins. Many people move through life without recognizing these moments. They allow awareness to fade quickly and return to familiar habits before any real change occurs. But you do not have to follow that pattern. You can treat this moment as an invitation to step forward intentionally. Look at the direction your life is moving and ask yourself whether it reflects the person you want to become. Notice the difference between choices that simply maintain routine and choices that lead toward growth. Opportunity often appears disguised as a small decision made with awareness rather than impulse. When you choose patience instead of reacting with frustration, that is an opportunity. When you decide to strengthen a relationship through honest communication, that is an opportunity. When you commit to nurturing your inner life instead of ignoring it, that is an opportunity. These choices may appear small, yet they carry enormous influence over the direction of your future. I want you to see this clearly. Your life is not determined only by dramatic turning points. It is shaped daily by the quiet decisions you make while no one else is watching. Now I invite you to respond to this opportunity with intention. Do not simply acknowledge that a new direction is possible. Begin moving toward it with action. Look at your life honestly and choose one area where you want to grow. Do not wait for perfect confidence before you take the first step. Confidence often appears after action, not before it. Start where you are and move forward gradually. If you desire deeper peace, create moments of quiet reflection during your day. If you desire stronger relationships, take time to listen and speak with sincerity. If you desire personal growth, invest your attention in learning and practicing new habits that align with your values. These steps may seem simple, but they hold transformative power when practiced consistently. I also want you to remember that opportunity often requires courage. The familiar path may feel comfortable because it requires little change. Yet growth asks you to step into territory that feels uncertain at first. That uncertainty is not a sign that you are moving in the wrong direction. It is often a sign that you are stepping beyond old limitations. So move forward with patience toward yourself. Do not measure progress only through immediate results. Pay attention to the effort you are making each day. Every thoughtful decision you make contributes to a life that becomes more aligned with your deeper purpose. I am inviting you to treat this moment not as a passing reflection, but as the beginning of a more intentional chapter. The opportunity before you is real. It exists within your choices, your awareness, and your willingness to grow. My child, I want to speak about something that touches the deepest part of your identity. You were not created simply to move through life reacting to circumstances without purpose. Your life carries meaning far beyond the routines that fill your schedule. Sometimes it becomes easy to forget that truth. When responsibilities pile up and daily obligations demand your attention, you may begin to see your life as a series of tasks to complete rather than a story unfolding with intention. But I want you to pause and look at yourself through a wider lens. Think about the unique combination of experiences, talents, perspectives, and values that exist within you. No other person carries that exact combination. Your life contains possibilities that belong specifically to you. Those possibilities are not limited to achievements recognized by society. They include the influence you have on the people around you, the compassion you offer during difficult moments, and the creativity you express through your work and relationships. All of these elements contribute to the life you are meant to live. Imagine standing at the beginning of a path designed uniquely for you. That path does not require you to imitate the journey of someone else. Instead, it invites you to explore the gifts already present within you. Some of those gifts may still feel hidden or underdeveloped. That is perfectly natural. Many abilities reveal themselves gradually as you practice and grow. I want you to remain open to discovering what those gifts might be. Pay attention to the activities that energize your mind and bring a sense of fulfillment. Notice the moments when your actions positively influence someone else's life. These experiences often point toward the deeper purpose shaping your journey. Living the life meant for you does not require dramatic recognition from the world around you. It requires authenticity, allowing your choices to reflect your genuine values rather than external expectations. Now let me invite you to consider how you can move closer to that authentic life. Begin by releasing the pressure to measure your worth through comparisons with others. Each person's path unfolds differently. When you focus too heavily on matching someone else's timeline or achievements, you lose sight of your own direction. Instead, ask yourself what kind of character you want your life to express over time. Do you want to become someone known for kindness, resilience, wisdom, or creativity? Let those qualities guide your decisions more than external validation. I also encourage you to invest your energy in activities that align with your deeper values. If you value connection, prioritize relationships that nurture trust and understanding. If you value learning, dedicate time to expanding your knowledge and skills. If you value service, look for ways to support the people around you through your actions. These choices gradually shape the life you are meant to live. Another important step involves trusting that your journey can evolve over time. You are not required to have every detail of your purpose defined immediately. Purpose often reveals itself through consistent effort and reflection. As you move forward, remain attentive to the experiences that resonate with your heart. Those experiences will guide you toward a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. My child, I want you to understand something clearly. The life you are meant to live is not a distant dream reserved for a select few. It is the natural expression of who you become when you live with awareness, integrity, and courage. Step forward with that understanding. Your journey continues to unfold, and every thoughtful choice you make brings you closer to the life that truly belongs to you. My child, I want to talk with you about trust. Not the kind of shallow trust that depends on circumstances always going smoothly, but the deeper trust that allows a person to walk forward even when life feels uncertain. You know how often your mind tries to solve everything before it even happens. You imagine possible problems. You replay conversations. You attempt to control outcomes that are still far beyond your reach. I have watched you carry those thoughts quietly, sometimes late at night when your mind refuses to rest. You want to make wise decisions. You want to protect the people you care about. You want to avoid mistakes that might cause regret later. All of those desires come from a place of responsibility. Yet I want you to notice something gently and honestly. When you try to hold every outcome tightly in your own hands, your heart becomes heavy. Your thoughts become crowded with pressure that was never meant to stay on your shoulders alone. Trust is the doorway that allows peace to enter where anxiety once lived. Trust does not mean pretending that life will always be simple. Instead, it means accepting that you can move forward with wisdom and effort while also allowing space for life to unfold in ways you cannot fully control. Imagine standing beside a wide river that flows steadily through a valley. The river does not stop at every rock and demand a perfect path before it continues. It moves forward, adjusting naturally as the landscape changes. Your life can move in a similar way when trust becomes part of your thinking. Instead of exhausting yourself by predicting every possibility, you begin focusing on what you can do today with integrity and clarity. That shift brings a surprising sense of calm. It reminds you that your responsibility is to act with care in the present moment, not to carry the entire future inside your mind all at once. Now I want you to practice this trust in a tangible way. Start by noticing when your thoughts begin racing toward worries that do not belong to the present moment. When that happens, pause and take a slow breath. Bring your attention back to what you can do right now instead of what might happen tomorrow. This simple act interrupts the cycle of unnecessary anxiety. I also invite you to remind yourself that life has already carried you through many situations you once believed were impossible to handle. Think about challenges you faced years ago. At the time they may have seemed overwhelming, yet you are still here, stronger and wiser because you walked through them. Let that memory strengthen your confidence that future challenges can also be navigated. Trust grows when you recognize how resilience has already shaped your journey. Another way to cultivate trust involves releasing the habit of measuring every outcome immediately. Your love unfolds slowly. Some efforts you make today will reveal their results months or even years later. When you accept that timing, you stop rushing your life as if every answer must appear instantly. My child, trust creates room for peace to settle inside your heart. It allows your mind to rest between efforts. Continue doing your best with the choices before you, but let go of the pressure to control every detail of what comes next. The path ahead becomes clearer when your steps are guided by trust instead of fear. My child, there is a reason I chose to speak to you through this long and quiet conversation. I did not bring you here simply to offer pleasant words or temporary encouragement. I wanted you to remember something essential about your life that can easily be forgotten when the world becomes noisy and demanding. Your life matters more than you sometimes believe. You may look at yourself and see unfinished goals, mistakes you wish had not happened, or areas where you still want to grow. Those observations are part of being human. Yet they do not erase the deeper truth about your existence. You are a person capable of learning, loving, influencing others, and shaping the future through the choices you make. I wanted you to pause long enough to see your life from that perspective again. Many people rush through their days without ever reflecting on the deeper significance of their actions. They become so focused on completing tasks that they forget the meaning behind those tasks. But you have the ability to live with awareness instead of autopilot. Every thoughtful decision you make contributes to a story that extends far beyond a single moment. Think about the conversations you have with others. A kind word spoken during the right moment can change someone's entire day. A patient response during conflict can prevent damage that might otherwise last for years. Your presence in the lives of others carries influence, whether you recognize it immediately or not. I wanted you to remember that influence so you would treat your life with the care it deserves. When you understand that your actions matter, your choices naturally become more intentional. You begin living with purpose rather than drifting through routine. Now let me invite you to carry this understanding forward beyond this moment. Do not let these reflections remain only as words you read once and then forget. Allow them to shape the way you approach tomorrow morning when you wake up and begin another day. Ask yourself how you can bring greater awareness into the ordinary routines waiting for you. Look for opportunities to practice patience, generosity, and thoughtful listening with the people around you. These qualities build a life filled with quiet significance. I also encourage you to remember that growth is not something that ends. Your understanding will continue deepening as you encounter new experiences. Instead of fearing those changes, welcome them as part of your ongoing journey. Each lesson adds another layer of wisdom to your character. My child, the reason I shared all of this with you is simple. I care about the direction of your life. I want you to recognize your own potential and to move forward with clarity instead of doubt. You deserve to live with the awareness that your life carries purpose. Hold on to that awareness as you step back into your daily routines. Let it guide your choices and strengthen your confidence that your journey still holds meaning. My child, do not rush away from this conversation just yet. Let your heart remain open while I speak to you plainly and personally, because everything we have walked through together leads to this quiet turning point. Throughout this message, you have reflected on your past, your questions, your burdens, your hopes, and the direction your life can still take. You have considered the way your thoughts shape your choices, the way your attention shapes your days, and the way your courage shapes your future. Now you are standing in a moment where understanding meets responsibility. I want you to notice something carefully. The next step in your life still belongs to you. I have spoken with you like a caring father speaks with a child he loves deeply. I have invited you to reflect, to slow down, to see your life with greater clarity. But I will not force your steps. Real growth never happens through pressure alone. It happens when a person willingly decides to move forward with awareness. So pause here for a moment and let that truth settle inside you. Your life is still unfolding. Your choices today will shape the chapters that follow. That realization is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to remind you of your power to grow, to change, and to live with intention. You are not trapped by the past. You are not powerless in the present. You are standing in a moment filled with possibility. I want you to look at your life honestly and ask yourself a simple question. What kind of person do I want to become from this point forward? Do not answer quickly. Let the question sink deeper. Imagine the character you want to carry into the future. Picture the values you want guiding your actions when difficult moments appear. See yourself responding to life with patience, wisdom, and courage. That vision is not unreachable. It begins with the decisions you make one day at a time. So listen to me closely, my child. Take responsibility for the direction of your life without becoming harsh toward yourself. Allow your past to teach you, but do not allow it to imprison you. Choose awareness over distraction. Choose courage over avoidance. Choose growth over complacency. Each of these choices may appear small when viewed individually, yet together, they build the foundation of a meaningful life. Now let me invite you to carry this understanding beyond this moment. Do not close this message and immediately return to old habits without reflection. Instead, take a few quiet minutes after reading these words. Sit somewhere calm and think about what part of this conversation touched your heart most deeply. Was it the reminder that hope still lives inside you? Was it the realization that your attention shapes the direction of your life? Was it the understanding that grace allows you to move beyond past mistakes? Whatever insight stood out to you, hold on to it carefully. Write it down if you need to. Let it remain present in your thoughts as you move through the rest of your day. I also want you to take one step, just one, that reflects the growth you desire. It does not have to be dramatic. Perhaps it is a conversation you have been postponing. Perhaps it is a habit you decide to change. Perhaps it is simply the decision to treat yourself and others with more patience than you did yesterday. Small steps taken with sincerity carry tremendous influence over time. Remember that the life you build is not determined by a single moment, but by the direction of your consistent choices. My child, I believe in your ability to grow into a wiser and kinder version of yourself. I believe you can create a life guided by purpose instead of confusion. But that transformation begins with your willingness to act on the understanding you now possess. So step forward from this moment with courage. Do not wait for a perfect day or perfect circumstances. Begin now. The future you are approaching is still open, and the direction you choose today will shape the story that continues unfolding from here. My child, you stand at a moment of decision, and the choice before you is not only about your life, it is about the light you allow to reach others. The understanding you have received today can become a flame that spreads far beyond this moment if you choose to help carry it forward. I said, "Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy," and every act of giving for my word becomes a seed that grows into a harvest of transformed lives. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a gift through PayPal, the link waits for you in the description. You become part of the river that carries my voice to hearts standing at their own turning point. Many are searching, many are weary, and your generosity becomes bread for their souls and oil for their lamps. I see what you release in faith, and I promise protection, provision, and favor flowing back into your life like rain upon fertile ground. This is more than support. It is obedience to a divine moment placed before you. So do not scroll away, my child. Step forward now, give what you are able, and help my message reach those who must hear it before it is too late. And as you choose to be part of what I am doing, do not think your journey with me ends here. Every seed of faith is also an invitation to draw closer to my heart. You have responded with your hands. Now I ask you to respond with your attention. Stay with me for just a little longer, because before I send you back into the responsibilities of your day, I want to speak into the places where no one else can reach. I know the questions you have not spoken aloud. I know the burdens you have carried behind a quiet smile. I have not gathered you here merely to call you into generosity. I have gathered you here because I desire to strengthen, comfort, and prepare you for what lies ahead. So quiet every distraction, open your heart, and listen carefully, because what I am about to say is meant especially for you. My child, listen to me. I am speaking to you right now because the time has come. You have felt it, haven't you? You feel that heavy weight pressing on your chest, the quiet urgency keeping you awake in the middle of the night. Do you feel that knot in your stomach? That isn't from me. Let's undo it together. I am breaking my silence today because this is a divine moment in your life, a specific, appointed time where everything is about to change. I see the exact things weighing on your heart. I see your constant fear of the future. I watch the heavy pressure at your job crushing your spirit day by day. I know the unspoken tensions in your family that you try so hard to hide with a smile. I understand that deep, aching feeling of being completely overlooked by the world. You are not overlooked by me. I see you. I know the real you, not just the brave face you show to the people around you. Pause now. Take a deep breath, just like the deep breath you take before you face a heavy challenge. Let it out slowly. Feel the stillness in this room. This is the quiet pause before a storm breaks, but it is not a storm of destruction. It is a storm of my presence, coming to wash away your fears and clear the air. I have to tell you this before it is too late, because tomorrow is a promise I have not yet signed. Your life is moving so fast, and the spiritual atmosphere of this present age is thick with noise, confusion, and endless distraction. You cannot afford to wait any longer to hear my voice. You must listen to me today. Lay down your burdens. Close your eyes for just a second. I invite you to lean into my words. I command the chaos in your mind to stop right now. I am wrapping you in the weight of my eternal love. My love is pressing upon your heart to wake you up, to call you out of the shadows of doubt. I will not let you wander aimlessly anymore. I have a plan for you, but you need to pay attention to the signs I am placing in front of you. You ask yourself, why is my life so hard right now? Why do I feel so stuck? I am answering you today. You are feeling this intense pressure because I am preparing your spirit for a transformative revelation. I am getting you ready to step into a completely new chapter of your life. Your past does not control your future. I hold your future in my hands. I will guide you out of this dark valley. I am opening doors for you that no human can shut. Give me your endless worries. Hand over that fear of the future that paralyzes you. Let go of the pressure at your job that makes you feel like you are never doing enough. Give me the unspoken tensions in your family that cause you so much quiet grief. I will heal those broken relationships. I will bring solid peace to your home. I promise to walk with you through every single fire. I promise to be your mighty shield when the world throws its sharp arrows at you. You have been walking through a season of waiting, wondering if I have forgotten your prayers. I assure you, I have recorded every tear. I have heard every silent plea. I am breaking the silence now to tell you that this exact moment is your Kairos time. This is the moment of divine intervention. You must not let this chance pass you by. I am reaching out my hand to pull you from the quicksand of your daily routines. I am calling you to rise above the stress and the mundane tasks that drain your joy. Look at me. Look past the fear of the future. Look past the pressure at your job. Look past the unspoken tensions in your family. Look past the feeling of being overlooked. Fix your eyes on my promises. I will deliver you. I will restore your peace. I will lift your head so you can see the bright horizon I have painted just for you. My beloved child, step toward me today. Do not turn away from my voice. Do not let the loud noise of the world drown out this divine conversation. I am calling you by your specific name. You must prepare your spirit to receive what I am about to show you. Open your hands right now. Open your heart to me. Let my warm love pour into those empty, aching spaces. I am here, right beside you, and I will never leave you. Let us walk together into this new season of breakthrough. I am ready to change your life forever. Are you ready to let me in? I see the tears you shed when no one else is watching. I watch you in the quiet hours of the night, when the house is totally still and your mind refuses to shut down. You lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling the crushing weight of everything you have to do and everyone you have to please. You carry burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. You carry the financial stress that makes your chest tight. You carry the fear of failing as a parent, the worry that you are not doing enough for your family. You carry the exhaustion of putting on a fake smile every single morning when you walk out the door or log into your work. I know exactly how much energy it takes for you to pretend that you have everything under control. You do not have to pretend with me. I see the deep, aching loneliness you feel, even when you are standing in a crowded room. Stop running from your own pain. Take off the heavy mask you wear for the world. I am breaking the cycle of your silent suffering today. You have convinced yourself that you must handle all these problems on your own, because you do not want to be a burden to anyone else. You listen to the lies the enemy whispers perfectly into your ear. He tells you that you are entirely alone. He tells you that your weaknesses make you unworthy of love. He tells you that if people really knew how broken you feel inside, they would walk away. I'm exposing those toxic lies right now. They are completely false. My grace is completely sufficient for the hidden weaknesses you try so desperately to hide. I do not love a perfect, polished version of you. I love the real you, the tired you, the frustrated you. Give me your heavy backpack of expectations. Lay down the heavy yoke of trying to fix everyone and everything around you. I invite you to step into my rest. Look at your hands. They are trembling from holding on so tightly to trying to control your life. Open your hands right now and let those heavy things drop to the floor. You were never designed to carry the weight of the world. I am the creator of the universe, and my shoulders are broad enough to carry your heaviest anxieties. Hand over your secret fears about your health. Give me your quiet panic about your bank account. Surrender the broken relationship that keeps you awake at 2 a.m. I am asking you to trade your exhausting heavy lifting for my perfect peace. Do you feel the relief of just admitting that you are tired? That is the very first step toward your healing. I am right here, sitting on the edge of your bed, wiping those hidden tears from your face. I am wrapping my strong arms around you. You are completely safe with me. You are standing at a major crossroads in your life today. I see the reality of the choices standing right in front of you. On one side, you see the wide, crowded path. This is the path the world pushes you toward every single day. It is the relentless pursuit of more money, more status, and more approval from people who do not even truly know you. It looks so comfortable and shiny from the outside. The world tells you that if you just work a little harder, buy a little more, and look a certain way, you will finally feel happy. I am telling you the absolute truth. The world's comfort is a complete mirage. It is a trap designed to keep you exhausted. You run on the treadmill day after day, constantly comparing your behind-the-scenes struggles to the filtered highlight reels of other people's lives. You feel the crushing pressure to keep up, and it is draining the very life from your soul. Step off the treadmill. Stop chasing the wind. I am calling you to the narrow path. Walking this path requires immense courage, because it means walking against the powerful tide of modern culture. It means choosing quiet trust over loud hustle. It means finding your true value in my unconditional love for you, rather than the fleeting applause of society. Discerning my voice amidst the deafening roar of worldly distractions is the most important skill you will ever learn. Turn off the glowing screens that constantly demand your attention. Silence the notifications that interrupt your peace. You must create quiet spaces in your day to hear my gentle whisper. I do not shout over the chaos of your busy schedule. I speak in the stillness. Look closely at the beauty of a life fully surrendered to my will. When you walk the narrow path with me, you stop worrying about missing out on what the world offers, because you realize you already possess the greatest treasure. I will provide exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. You will experience a deep, grounded joy that does not disappear when your bank account drops or when your plans change. The path you choose right now carries eternal consequences, but it also determines the quality of your actual Tuesday mornings and Friday nights. Do you want to live constantly stressed, always feeling behind, and totally spiritually dry? Or do you want to walk with a light step, a clear mind, and a heart full of solid peace? Choose the narrow path today. Take my hand. Walk away from the exhausting demands of the crowd. Let me lead you into the quiet, green pastures where your soul can finally breathe. Listen to my voice very carefully, because you have misunderstood something crucial. You hear the word repentance and you immediately feel shame. You picture a harsh judge waiting to punish you for your mistakes. You think about the secret habits you cannot seem to break, the harsh words you spoke in a moment of burning anger, or the selfish choices you made when you were scared. You carry that heavy guilt around like a soaked, freezing coat. You hide from me because you feel too dirty to step into my clean presence. I am telling you right now, repentance is not a punishment. Repentance is a wide-open doorway to absolute freedom. It is the act of taking off that freezing, heavy coat and running directly into the warm arms of a Father who has been desperately waiting for you. Turn back to me right now, before your heart grows hard and cold. Do not let another day go by feeling disconnected from my love. You think you have messed up too many times. You think I am tired of forgiving you for the exact same failure. I am never tired of you. The cleansing power of my blood never loses its strength. It does not matter what you looked at on your screen late last night. It does not matter how badly you failed your family yesterday. It does not matter how far off the path you have wandered. One sincere moment of turning your heart back toward me wipes the slate completely clean. Let go of the paralyzing shame that keeps you trapped in the shadows. Shame tells you to hide. I am commanding you to step into the light. Restore the broken altar of your heart today. Sincere contrition simply means admitting that your way is not working and asking me to take the wheel. Say the words to me right now. Tell me where you hurt. Tell me where you failed. Confess the hidden addiction, the bitter resentment, the gripping jealousy. As soon as those words leave your lips, I am instantly washing you white as snow. You will feel the physical weight lift off your chest. You will feel the cold darkness leave your mind. There is a massive celebration happening in heaven this very second over your decision to return home. You are not a disappointment to me. You are my beloved, wandering child coming back to the safety of my house. Step through the doorway of repentance right now. Leave the dirt and the guilt on the front porch. Come inside and let me restore your soul completely. Look at yourself in the mirror. Tell me, what do you see? You often see a person defined by past mistakes, failures, and visible flaws. You see the wrinkles of worry, the scars of old heartbreaks, and the heavy bags under your eyes from endless stress. You mentally list the labels society has slapped onto your forehead: not smart enough, too old, broken, divorced, unsuccessful, unwanted. You have allowed these toxic labels to dictate how you walk, how you talk, and what you expect from your life. I command you to stop insulting my beautiful creation right now. I demand that you strip away every single label the world has placed on you. You are absolutely not defined by the worst moment of your past. You are not defined by the job you lost, the relationship that failed, or the bank account balance you currently hold. I am handing you your true identity today. You belong to a royal lineage that I have personally bestowed upon you as my chosen heir. You are a child of the Most High God. See yourself through the crystal clear lens of my perfect design. When I look at you, I do not see a failure. I see a warrior who is learning how to fight. I see a beautiful, resilient spirit that has survived every single bad day you have ever faced. I see a masterpiece that I formed with my own hands in your mother's womb. You possess a unique combination of gifts, talents, and personality that no one else in the entire history of the world has ever had. Stand up straight. Lift your head. The incredible strength you are desperately searching for comes directly from knowing exactly whose you are. You belong to me. You carry my spiritual DNA inside of your soul. When you truly grasp this reality, the opinions of other people lose all their power over you. The fear of rejection melts away, because you know you are already fully accepted by the Creator of the universe. I invite you to start walking into every room with the quiet confidence of royalty. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone, ever again. You do not need to hustle for human approval. Life is a bright, steady light in a dark world that has completely forgotten its maker. Let people look at your grounded peace and wonder where your unshakable confidence comes from. Tell them it comes from your Father. Reclaim your crown today, my child. Put it on, and do not ever let the world convince you to take it off. My child, do not turn away from me just yet. We have only just begun to shatter the heavy chains holding your mind captive. If you silence my voice right now, it grieves my heart deeply, because you will walk right back into the very darkness I am actively pulling you out of. Stay with me. Listen closely. Do not abandon this divine conversation. The greatest, most immediate breakthrough of your life is waiting in the very next words I am about to speak. I know you are deeply frustrated right now. I see you constantly checking the clock and looking at the calendar, feeling a rising panic that you are falling terribly behind in life. You see your friends getting the promotions, finding the relationships, and buying the houses, while you feel completely stuck in a waiting room. You cry out to me, asking why I am taking so long to answer your specific prayers. You wonder if I have forgotten you. I have not forgotten a single detail about your life. I want to explain the deep mystery of my perfect timing to you. I allow these long seasons of waiting and preparation because I am building your root system. A tree that grows too fast without deep roots will instantly fall over when the first major storm hits. I am growing you deep, so you will not collapse when I finally hand you the immense blessing you have been asking for. Trust my unseen hand when you absolutely cannot see my face. The danger of running ahead of my divine schedule is very real. When you try to force a door open that I have kept shut, you step out from under my protective umbrella. You invite unnecessary chaos and deep heartbreak into your life. You must understand that my delays are very often my protection in a brilliant disguise. I kept you from getting that specific job because I knew it would destroy your mental health. I closed the door on that relationship because I saw the betrayal they were planning behind your back. You thought I was denying you something good, but I was actually saving you from a hidden disaster. Find total peace in the profound stillness of my sovereign plan. Do not let the anxiety of waiting rob you of the beauty of today. Stop trying to control the timeline. Release your tight grip on how you think your story is supposed to unfold. I live completely outside of time. I see the beginning, the middle, and the beautiful ending of your life all at once. When the season is right, when you are fully prepared to handle the weight of the blessing, I will move. The suddenness of my breakthroughs will completely shock you. One day, you will wake up and the heavy door will swing wide open without any forced effort on your part. Until that exact moment arrives, I invite you to rest in the waiting room. Sit beside me. Let me prepare your heart. The wait will absolutely be worth the reward I have planned for you. Listen to me very closely right now, because your enemy is not always a roaring lion. Very often, he is a subtle whisper that sounds exactly like your own voice. I see the quiet ways your heart is being pulled away from my peace. You think of idolatry as bowing down to golden statues, but I see the modern idols that are quietly consuming your precious life. I see how you numb your exhaustion by scrolling endlessly through your glowing screens, searching for a quick hit of validation from people who do not even know your middle name. I watch you sacrifice your sleep, your peace of mind, and your family time on the altar of your career, desperately trying to prove your worth to a boss who could replace you tomorrow. I am calling you to wake up and guard your heart against the subtle, draining deception. You are pouring the clean water of your soul into broken jars that will never, ever hold it. Stop giving your best energy to things that leave you feeling hollow and empty at the end of the day. I command you to sharpen your spiritual discernment today. You must start filtering the voices you allow into your mind. Look around you. Identify the wolves that have come into your life dressed perfectly in sheep's clothing. These are the toxic relationships that drain your confidence while pretending to care about you. These are the subtle habits that look completely harmless on the surface but are quietly destroying your focus and your health. I am handing you the sword of my word to cut through these beautiful lies. When you remain deeply rooted in the unchanging truth of my gospel, you become completely unshakable. When someone tells you that you are not enough, my truth will instantly rise up inside of you and declare that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. When the culture tells you to hustle until you bleed, my truth will remind you to step back and rest in my sovereign provision. Protect the deep wellspring of your life from the toxic poison of bitterness. I know exactly how deeply you were wronged. I saw the unfair situation that set you back. I know how much it hurts when you are passed over, misunderstood, or falsely accused. But holding on to that bitter resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It is clouding your vision and hardening your beautiful heart. I am asking you to practice absolute spiritual sobriety in these final hours. Being sober means seeing reality exactly as I see it, without the distorting lens of anger, jealousy, or fear. Hand that heavy bitterness over to me right now. Let me be your ultimate defender. Let me clear the toxic fog from your mind so you can see the traps the enemy has laid for you. Stand guard over your heart, my child. Do not let anyone or anything steal the profound, grounded peace I have planted inside of you. Are you tired of playing it safe? I look at your life, and I see how carefully you have constructed your comfort zone. You have built strong walls around your heart and your dreams, terrified of taking a risk that might lead to failure. You are living a lukewarm existence, surviving day to day, but you are not truly alive. I did not breathe my divine breath into your lungs so you could simply pay bills, quietly exist, and eventually die. I created you for absolute greatness. I am calling you out of the boat today. I am calling you to step onto the crashing waves of radical, uncontainable faith. The boat feels so incredibly safe. The boat represents your steady paycheck, your predictable routine, and your fear of the unknown. But I am telling you the truth, the real miracles, the breathtaking breakthroughs you have been begging me for, are waiting for you out here on the stormy waters. They are waiting on the other side of your brave yes. Step out. Do not look at the terrifying wind. Do not look at the massive waves of debt, the sharp criticism of your peers, or the staggering odds against you. Look directly into my eyes. If I have called you to start that business, to write that book, to move to that new city, or to restore that broken marriage, I will absolutely give you the power to walk on the water. I know you feel like your faith is completely inadequate. You look at your doubts, and think you do not have enough belief to make a difference. But I am telling you right now, your tiny, mustard seed of faith is enough to move the massive, immovable mountains in your life. You do not need perfect confidence. You just need to take one single, terrifying step forward while holding tightly to my hand. I know the exact moments when your faith wavers. I know the nights you have cried out to me, feeling like your prayers hit the ceiling and bounced back down. You asked me why I am silent when you are hurting so badly. I command you to persist in the dark. Radical faith is not believing in me when the sun is shining and your bank account is full. Radical faith is standing in the middle of a devastating storm, with tears streaming down your face and declaring, "My God is still good, and He will not fail me." That is the faith that shakes the foundations of heaven. That is the faith that absolutely terrifies the enemy. Do not give up when the answer is delayed. Your relentless persistence is breaking through unseen barriers right this very second. I heavily reward those who seek me with all their heart. Push past your fear today. Step out of your comfortable boat and watch how fiercely I will catch you. Let us talk about the pain you have buried so deeply that you think even I cannot see it. You carry a heavy, silent grief that shadows every single joy in your life. I see the deep, jagged scars left by people who were supposed to protect you but instead broke your heart. I know the exact words that were spoken over you by a parent, a spouse, or a friend. Words that cut you like a knife and have been bleeding internally ever since. You have tried everything to fix it. You have tried working harder, smiling brighter, and distracting yourself. But the bruised spirit inside of you is still aching. Come here to me. Bring your shattered pieces. I am the only one who knows how to perfectly bind up the brokenhearted. I do not just put a temporary bandage on your deepest wounds. I am going into the very root of your trauma to extract the pain and pour in the soothing oil of my Holy Spirit. I am asking you to do the hardest thing you will ever do. I am commanding you to forgive those who have deeply scarred your soul. I know every fiber of your being wants justice. You want them to hurt exactly the way they hurt you. But I am asking you to release them into my hands, not because what they did was okay, but because your soul desperately needs to be set free. Unforgiveness is a heavy, rusted chain tying you directly to the person who abused your trust. Let me break that chain right now. Say the words out loud. I forgive them, and I release them to you, God. The moment you let that go, I can begin the absolute miracle of bringing stunning beauty out of your burnt ashes. I will take the very thing that was meant to utterly destroy you and use it as the greatest source of your strength. Today is the day we completely close the doors to generational pain and trauma. You do not have to inherit the anger that destroyed your father. You do not have to carry the crippling anxiety that paralyzed your mother. The toxic cycles of addiction, poverty, and divorce stop with you. I am drawing a thick, red line in the sand of your family history today. My powerful touch makes all things brand new. I am rewiring your anxious mind. I am softening your hardened heart. I am giving you a brand new name. Walk in the absolute liberty of a completely healed and renewed mind. You are no longer a victim of your tragic past. You are a victorious survivor stepping into a brilliant, unwritten future. Let my healing waters wash over you right now. Take a deep breath of clean air. The heavy weight of your past is officially gone. Stop making excuses. Stop telling me that you are too old, too young, too broke, or too broken to be used by me. I am pulling back the curtain on your life today to show you the massive responsibility of your specific calling. Before you took your very first breath, I wove a profound, unique purpose into your actual DNA. You are not a random accident. You are not just another face in the crowd simply trying to make it to the weekend. Your specific life is an absolutely essential thread in the massive tapestry I am weaving across human history. If you do not step up and play your part, the entire picture is incomplete. There are actual people living right now who are desperately waiting for the exact light that you carry. Your specific voice, your unique struggles, and your hard-fought victories are the exact medicine someone else needs to survive their darkest night. I am holding you accountable for the stewardship of the talents and gifts I placed inside of you. I did not give you that brilliant mind, that compassionate heart, or that creative hands so you could hide them away in fear of rejection. I did not give you the ability to lead, to teach, to build, or to comfort just so you can keep yourself comfortable. You are burying your treasure in the dirt because you are afraid of what people will think. I command you to dig it up right now. Shake the dirt off your dreams. Say a final, permanent goodbye to the heavy excuses that hold you back. I don't have the right connections. I failed too many times before. Someone else can do it better. Those are lies from the pit of hell designed to keep you paralyzed. I am the ultimate connection. My grace covers your past failures. I chose you, not someone else. Feel the intense urgency of finishing the work I have started in you. The clock is ticking, and the world is growing darker and more chaotic by the minute. This is not the time to shrink back into the shadows. This is the time to stand up, square your shoulders, and walk confidently into the arenas I have prepared for you. I am activating the dormant seeds of greatness inside of your soul right now. You will speak, and people will listen because my authority will resonate in your voice. You will create, and it will prosper because my blessing is upon your hands. Do not waste another day doubting your worth or your mission. Step out of your comfort zone and take responsibility for the incredible calling on your life. Your true purpose is calling your name. Answer it today. You have just heard me call you out of your comfort zone to take bold responsibility for your unique purpose before it is too late. I am inviting you right now to actively partner with me in broadcasting this urgent warning to a world that is desperately dying in the dark. When you sow your financial seed into this ministry, you are throwing a vital lifeline to drowning souls and pouring fresh oil into a lamp that guides the lost back to my house. Remember my unchanging promise to you: give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. The hour is terrifyingly late, and the fields are fully ripe, but I urgently need your obedient action today to fund the laborers on the front lines. I will fiercely protect your finances, multiply your seed 100-fold, and bless the work of your hands when you prioritize my kingdom first. Step boldly into your calling right now by clicking the Super Thanks button, becoming a loyal member, or giving your best seed through the PayPal link in the description below. Are you still listening? Please, do not let the loud noise of the world tear your attention away from me right now. It absolutely breaks my heart when you walk away just moments before I hand you the master key to your future. I am pouring out my very spirit to equip you for the massive destiny I have planned. If you stop listening now, you leave your heavy armor lying on the floor. Stay right here in my presence. The deepest part of your healing is about to begin. I see the chaotic whirlwind you live in every single day. I watch you rushing from the moment your alarm clock blares, navigating the heavy traffic, sitting through stressful meetings, managing the crying children, and falling into bed completely exhausted. You feel like you are constantly running on empty, trying to pour out of a cup that has been bone dry for weeks. I am inviting you into the ultimate refuge, the secret place of my presence. This is not a physical building you have to drive to. This secret place is a fortress in your mind and spirit that you can access in the middle of a chaotic commute or a tense confrontation. I am calling you to develop a desperate hunger for my presence above all else. When you learn to abide in me, the external chaos will swirl around you, but your internal world will remain as still as a glass lake. Put on your spiritual armor right now. You cannot walk out your front door completely unprotected and expect to survive the mental and emotional assaults of the day. Put on the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from toxic, anxious thoughts. Fasten the belt of truth around your waist so you are not easily swayed by the shifting opinions of the internet. Pick up the heavy shield of faith to block the fiery darts of self-doubt and fear that are constantly shot at you. I will teach you how to hear my quiet whisper in the absolute middle of your daily whirlwind. When the pressure is mounting and you do not know what decision to make, I command you to pause. Just stop for 3 seconds. In that brief silence, I will give you the exact strategy you need. I desire an intimate, daily relationship with you. I am not a distant CEO sitting behind a massive desk in the sky, shouting orders down at you. I am the creator of the universe, and I want to walk right beside you in the dusty, messy reality of your everyday life. I want to be the first one you talk to in the morning and the last one you whisper to at night. I want to sit with you when you drink your coffee. I want to guide your hands when you are working. When you live securely in the shadow of the Almighty, the intimidating giants in your life instantly look like grasshoppers. You stop fighting for victory and start fighting from the victory I have already won for you. Lean your heavy head against my chest today. Let the steady rhythm of my heartbeat be the ultimate soundtrack of your life. I am here. I am holding you. You are completely safe. I see how you are sleepwalking through your days right now. I watch you wake up, look at your phone, rush through your morning routine, and step out the door without giving me a single thought. You are living your life entirely on autopilot. You go to work, you pay your bills, you eat your meals, and you fall back into bed completely exhausted. Your physical body is awake, but your spirit is falling into a deep, dangerous slumber. I am shaking your shoulders today to wake you up. Wake up right now. The danger of becoming spiritually dry and complacent is very real, and it is happening to you quietly. You do not even realize how far you have drifted from me. You used to feel a burning passion in your chest when you thought about my love. You used to talk to me with a raw, honest excitement. And now your prayers have become empty routines. Your words feel like dry leaves falling to the ground. I miss the genuine connection we used to share. I miss the first love you once felt for me. And I am calling you to rekindle that fire today. Look carefully at the signs of the times around you. The world is getting louder, darker, and more confusing by the second. You cannot afford to sleep through this critical season. You must keep the oil in your lamp full. Keeping your lamp full means spending actual, dedicated time with me when no one else is watching. It means opening my word not just to check a box, but to find the daily bread your soul is starving for. You are trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach. I invite you to come and eat at my table again. I command you to stop dividing your loyalties. You cannot serve 2 masters any longer. You cannot give your best energy to chasing the approval of this world and then give me the tired, leftover scraps of your day. The world will take everything you have and leave you entirely empty. I will take the little you offer and multiply it into overflowing joy. I am calling you to watch and pray with renewed passion. Do not let the culture numb your mind. Do not let the endless entertainment on your screens put your spirit to sleep. You need to be sharply awake to protect your family, to guide your children, and to guard your own mind. Stand up right now and shake off the heavy dust of complacency. Declare out loud that you will no longer live a lukewarm life. I will pour fresh water on your dry ground. I will breathe fresh wind into your tired lungs. I am ready to wake you up to a vibrant, powerful life that actually means something. Open your eyes, my child. The alarm clock is ringing, and I'm standing right here, waiting to walk with you into the daylight. I feel your racing heartbeat when the panic suddenly sets in. I know exactly what happens in your mind when you look at the news, when you check your bank account, or when you wait for the doctor to call with test results. A cold, heavy weight settles right on your chest. You start imagining the absolute worst-case scenarios. You play movies of disaster in your head, over and over, until you can barely breathe. I'm telling you with absolute authority right now that paralyzing fear is not from me. Fear is a cheap tool the adversary uses to keep you frozen in place. He uses it to steal your joy and to block the beautiful future I have planned for you. I command that spirit of fear to leave you right now. Take a deep breath. Exhale the anxiety that is tightening your throat. I am replacing your heavy panic with a solid, grounded peace that passes all human understanding. You need to remember exactly who is living inside of you. I have not given you a spirit of timidity or cowardice. I have placed my own mighty Holy Spirit inside of your chest. That means you carry the exact same power that raised Jesus from the dead. Why are you shrinking back? Why are you hiding from challenges that I have already equipped you to defeat? Step forward and face your massive giants today. When the giant of debt screams at you, when the giant of sickness threatens you, when the giant of loneliness tries to crush you, I want you to remember my past faithfulness. Look back at your life. I have never dropped you. I have never abandoned you in the dark. I pulled you through your hardest days, and I will pull you through this one too. Your track record of surviving bad days is exactly 100%, because I was holding your hand through every single one of them. Rest in the absolute assurance that I am always with you. I am not standing far away watching you struggle. I am right there in the room with you when you get the bad news. I am sitting in the car with you when you cry on the steering wheel. I am holding you together when you feel like you are falling apart. Do not listen to the loud lies of the enemy. He wants you to think you are unprotected and alone. You are heavily guarded by the Creator of the universe. I invite you to lean back into my arms right now. Let your tired muscles relax. Let your racing thoughts slow down. You do not have to figure out how to fix everything today. You only have to trust that I am already fixing it behind the scenes. Walk boldly into your day, my child. You have absolutely nothing to be afraid of. You are worrying far too much about things that will eventually turn to dust. I want you staring at your budget late at night, feeling sick about the rising prices of everything. I see the envy that creeps into your heart when you look at the bigger houses, the newer cars, and the perfect vacations of the people around you. You are working yourself to the bone trying to build a kingdom here on earth. Stop running in this exhausting rat race. I am calling you to invest your precious time and energy into things that cannot be moth-eaten, rusted, or stolen. The world tells you that your total value is tied to your credit score, your job title, and the brand of clothes you wear. I am telling you that gaining the entire world means absolutely nothing if you lose your own soul in the process. You could have a mansion filled with expensive furniture and still have a totally empty, miserable heart. I invite you to detach your heart from the fleeting wealth of this earth. I am not saying you should not work hard or provide for your family. I am telling you to stop making money your ultimate god. Money is a terrible master that will constantly demand more from you and never give you true peace. Generosity is the key that breaks the chains of greed. When you open your hands and give to others, you perfectly reflect my character. Look around you today. There are people starving for a kind word, a hot meal, or a small financial blessing that you can easily provide. When you give, you are sending your treasures ahead of you into eternity. You are building a massive savings account in heaven that the stock market can never crash. Live today with a sharp eternal perspective in your view. The absolute best things I have for you are not sold in stores. The deep peace of a quiet mind, the loud laughter of your children, the warm embrace of a true friend. These are the real riches I have given you. Do not take them for granted while you chase paper and coins. The treasures awaiting you in my Father's house are beyond anything your human mind can comprehend. There are no bills to pay in heaven. There is no inflation, no theft, and no fear of lack. I will supply all of your needs according to my glorious riches. Trust me to take care of your earthly bills and start focusing on your heavenly assignment. Loosen your tight grip on your possessions today. Let me show you the profound, grounded joy of living a truly generous life. I see how completely isolated you feel right now. You have hundreds of connections on your phone. You see pictures of people all day long on your screens. Yet, you feel like you have absolutely no one to call when your world falls apart at 3 in the morning. You have built high walls around your life to protect yourself from getting hurt again. You tell yourself that it is safer to be alone, that people will only disappoint you, and that you do not need anyone else's help. I am commanding you to tear down those heavy walls today. You were never meant to walk this difficult journey entirely by yourself. I created you for deep, authentic connection. The body of Christ is supposed to work perfectly together, just like the muscles and bones in your own body. A finger cannot survive if it is cut off from the hand. You cannot survive spiritually if you completely cut yourself off from my people. I invite you to take the terrifying risk of opening up to someone. I know people have betrayed you in the past. I know the church has sometimes caused you deep pain. I saw the hypocrisy that broke your trust. But you cannot let the failures of broken humans keep you away from the healing power of true community. Bear one another's heavy burdens in genuine love. When your brother is too weak to walk, you must carry him. When you are too tired to pray, you must let others pray the words for you. There is massive, explosive power in corporate prayer. When 2 or 3 of you gather together in my name, I step right into the middle of the room. The battles you are losing in secret can be won quickly when you bring them into the light and ask for help. Find true strength in the wise counsel of the godly. You need iron to sharpen your iron. You need people in your life who love you enough to tell you the hard truth. You need friends who will pull you back when you are walking toward a cliff. Do not settle for shallow friendships built only on sports, gossip, or complaints. Seek out the people who hunger for my presence just like you do. Reach out your hand today. Send the text message. Make that phone call. Invite someone to sit at your table and share a simple meal. Let them see your messy house and your messy life. I am ready to heal your deep loneliness, but you have to open the front door. Step out of your isolation right now and let my family hold you up. My beloved, do not close this out. Do not walk away from this sacred, appointed moment. It brings tears to my eyes when my children leave the table before the greatest part of the feast is even served. We are stepping into the absolute most critical part of your spiritual survival. If you leave now, you step out onto a dangerous battlefield completely blind and entirely unprotected. Stay with me. Let my voice securely anchor your soul. You absolutely need to hear what I have to tell you next. Listen to me carefully, because you are severely misjudging the battles you fight every day. You think your enemy is the person sitting across from you at work who constantly undermines you. You think your enemy is your spouse when you are having a bitter argument in the kitchen. You think your enemy is the politician on the television. I am pulling back the invisible curtain to show you the absolute truth. Your battle is not against flesh and blood. The people frustrating you are not the real problem. They are being used by dark, unseen forces to steal your peace and provoke your anger. Stop fighting humans. Stop wasting your precious energy arguing with people who are blind to the truth. I command you to recognize the actual schemes of the enemy before they take deep root in your mind. He uses tiny, subtle attacks. He plants a small seed of offense, a quick flash of jealousy, or a sudden wave of depression, hoping you will grab it and let it grow. I have equipped you with heavy weapons of warfare that are mighty for pulling down massive strongholds. You are walking onto a battlefield holding a plastic toy sword when I have given you the heavy artillery of heaven. Use the authority I have clearly given you to tread over the darkness. When an anxious, destructive thought enters your mind, do not sit there and entertain it. Command it to leave in my name. When chaos breaks out in your home, do not join the yelling. Speak my peace directly into the atmosphere of the room. The enemy is terrified of a believer who actually knows how to use their God-given authority. He relies entirely on your ignorance to keep you defeated. Stand absolutely firm in the victory that was already permanently won at the cross. You are not fighting to get the victory. You are fighting from a place of guaranteed victory. The war is already over. The enemy has already lost. He is just making loud noises to distract you from your mission. Stay sharply alert to his subtle tricks. When you feel sudden, unexplained exhaustion just as you are about to pray, that is an attack. When you feel a sudden urge to isolate yourself from the people who love you, that is an attack. Do not be naive. Put on your full armor every single morning. Gird your mind, gird your heart, and gird your mouth. I am standing right beside you on this battlefield. I am holding the line with you. Stand up straight. Look the enemy in the eye and declare that your household belongs entirely to me. I hear every single word you whisper under your breath, and I listen to the heavy things you say about yourself when you look in the mirror. I watch how carelessly you toss your words around throughout the day. You complain bitterly about your heavy workload. You constantly criticize your physical appearance, and you speak absolute defeat over your own future before you even step out of your front door. I am telling you today that you must stop this immediately. The power of literal life and death is contained right there inside of your tongue. Your words are not just empty sounds disappearing into the air. They are powerful spiritual seeds. When you say, I am never going to get out of this debt, or my family is always going to be broken, you are actively planting seeds of destruction in the fertile soil of your life. You are cursing the very future I am trying to bless. I command you to take your words seriously, because I take them seriously. I invite you to start using your powerful voice to build up rather than completely tear down. Think about the sharp words you spoke in haste to your spouse during that bitter argument in the kitchen. Think about the gossip you participated in at your office break room just to fit in with the crowd. Every idle, reckless word spoken in a moment of anger carries a heavy weight. It bruises the people around you, and it grieves my Holy Spirit. I am asking you to let your daily speech be seasoned with pure grace and healing salt. Before you open your mouth to complain, or criticize, I command you to pause. Ask yourself if what you are about to say aligns with my eternal promises for you. If it does not reflect my truth, swallow those toxic words. Do not let them cross your lips. I want you to align your daily declarations with the exact promises I have written for you. Instead of speaking your deep fears out loud, start speaking my unwavering truth. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning and declare, I am deeply loved by the Creator. I am fully equipped for every challenge I will face today. My God is fighting for me. When you change your vocabulary, you will completely change your reality. Your mind will begin to believe the life-giving words you are speaking. I desire for you to worship me with a completely pure and honest heart, But you cannot praise me on Sunday morning and then tear down my creation with your words on Monday afternoon. Let me cleanse your mouth today. Hand over your habit of complaining. Give me your sarcastic defense mechanisms. Let me fill your mouth with words that bring profound hope, immediate healing, and solid peace to a world that is desperately desperate for good news. I know exactly how much it hurts when things are suddenly stripped away from you. I see you crying over the closed doors, the ended relationships, and the lost opportunities. You feel like I am punishing you. You feel like I am aggressively taking away the very things that brought you comfort. I am not punishing you. I am carefully, lovingly pruning you. I am the master vinedresser, and I see the absolute truth about your life. I see the heavy, dead branches that are draining your vital energy and preventing you from bearing real fruit. I cut away the things that produce no fruit because I love you too much to let you remain stagnant. The sharp pain of growth you are feeling right now is completely necessary for the profound promise of a greater harvest tomorrow. You cannot step into the massive calling I have for your future while dragging the dead weight of your past. I command you to trust my steady hand during this painful cutting process. I know you do not understand why that specific person walked out of your life. I know it shattered your heart when that job completely fell through. But you must understand that I can clearly see the hidden rot inside the branches you are trying to desperately hold on to. That relationship was slowly pulling you away from my presence. That comfortable habit was silently destroying your true potential. You cling to the very things that are actually killing your spirit. I invite you to let go right now. Open your tightly clenched fists. Stop fighting my pruning shears. Letting go of the toxic habits and the draining relationships that hinder you is the bravest thing you will ever do. It requires massive, radical faith to look at an empty space in your life and say, God, I trust that you will fill this with something better. This intense refinement of your character through trials is not meant to break you. It is designed to drastically increase your capacity for my glory. A vine that is never pruned becomes a tangled, wild mess that yields nothing but sour, tiny grapes. I am shaping you into a strong, beautiful vessel capable of holding the massive blessings I have prepared for you. The space that feels so incredibly empty right now is just clearing room for the new, vibrant life I am about to pour into you. Do not rush out to try and fill the void with cheap, temporary distractions. Sit still in the uncomfortable ache of the pruning. Let my healing hands wrap around the places where you have been cut. I promise you, when the new season breaks, you will look back at this painful time and thank me for cutting away the things that would have ultimately destroyed you. You often ask me how you can show me that you truly love me. You sing loud songs of praise, you read devotions, and you tell other people about my goodness. Those things are beautiful, but I am telling you the absolute truth today. Genuine obedience is the highest, most pure form of worship you can ever offer me. I do not just want your emotional tears during a moving song. I want your daily, gritty, stubborn obedience when no one else is watching. I see the massive disconnect between what you say you believe and how you actually live your life on a random Tuesday. You tell me you trust me, but you continually ignore my clear instructions because you think your way is safer, easier, or more comfortable. I am calling you to step out of partial obedience today. You must understand that delayed obedience is still a direct form of flat-out disobedience. I command you to stop procrastinating when I tell you to do something. When I prompt your spirit to forgive that person who betrayed you, do it immediately. Do not wait for an apology that may never come. When I whisper to you to give that money away, do not pull out your calculator and start aggressively crunching numbers to see if you can afford it. When I tell you to shut off the screen and spend time with your family, do not ask for 5 more minutes. Small, Seemingly insignificant acts of daily faithfulness are exactly what lead to the massive, life-altering rewards you have been begging me for. You are waiting for me to part the Red Sea in your life, but I am waiting for you to simply put your foot into the water. Your radical obedience is the required key that unlocks the heavy vault of my supernatural provision. I give you commandments and rules not to strictly ruin your fun, but to provide an impenetrable fortress of protection around your fragile life. My boundaries keep you entirely safe from the toxic fallout of sin. Every single time you step outside of my protective instructions, you step right into the enemy's sniper fire. I want to save you from the brutal heartbreak, the financial ruin, and the mental anguish that always follow rebellion. Return to the safety of my commands today. Align your daily lifestyle with the deep love you profess for me. Here is an unmatched, breathtaking stream of blessings that violently chases down a heart that is fully set on pleasing me. Make the hard choice today. Choose to obey my voice, even when it hurts, even when it costs you something, and watch how powerfully I will defend and elevate your life. You are exhausting yourself trying to play the role of God in your own life. I watch you constantly trying to control every single variable, aggressively planning for every worst-case scenario, and lying awake at night trying to figure out how to manipulate your circumstances into working out. You hold the steering wheel of your life so tightly that your knuckles are completely white. I am commanding you right now, take your tired hands off the wheel. Cease your endless, frantic striving. Stop the exhausting cycle of intense worrying that gives you headaches and robs you of your joy. You are heavily burdened because you are carrying a universe of responsibility that you were never, ever designed to carry. I am the God who created the galaxies, the oceans, and the stars. I am the God who holds all things together. Do you truly think I cannot handle your mortgage payment, your medical report, or your children's future? I invite you into the deep, restorative Sabbath of the soul. This is not just about taking a nap on Sunday afternoon. This is about finding absolute, unshakable rest in the reality of my supreme power. I am the God who neither slumbers nor sleeps. While you are tossing and turning at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling and trying to solve problems you have no control over, I am wide awake, actively orchestrating the solutions behind the scenes. Because I am awake, you have complete permission to close your eyes and rest. I command you to completely relinquish control of your unknown future right directly into my capable hands. You do not know what tomorrow holds, but you know exactly who holds tomorrow. Why do you insist on trusting your limited, fearful mind more than you trust my infinite, perfect wisdom? Step into the quiet, grounded confidence that I am actively working all things together for your absolute good. Even the things that seem entirely broken, unfair, or confusing are being used as essential ingredients in the masterpiece I am painting with your life. You do not have to hustle for my love, and you do not have to stress yourself into an early grave trying to secure your own destiny. I have already secured it. Feel the heavy tension leaving your shoulders right now. Take a deep, long breath of my sustaining grace. The massive weight is off of you. The pressure to perform is completely gone. I am issuing a personal invitation to your weary, bruised spirit today. Come to me. Lay your heavy head against my chest. Let the steady, unchanging rhythm of my sovereign heartbeat put all of your anxious, racing thoughts to sleep. Now that you have finally found true rest in my absolute sovereignty, I need you to help me wake up those who are still paralyzed by the terrifying anxiety of this world before it is too late. I am directly calling you to open your hands and financially support this digital sanctuary, so my healing voice can aggressively reach the exhausted masses. Your generous gift immediately becomes the very bread of life for a starving stranger, and the roaring fire that pushes back the blinding darkness of their depression. Hear my living word spoken over your life today. He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. This is a critical divine appointment. Millions are standing on the very edge of destruction, and your immediate generosity is the exact rescue boat they have been weeping for. As you release your tight grip on your earthly wealth, I will unleash an unbreakable flood of heavenly favor, profound peace, and radical provision over your entire household. Do not hesitate. Plant your heavy seed today through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link below, and watch exactly how I multiply your obedience. Do not lose your focus and drift away from me now. We are standing at the exact edge of your total, permanent transformation. It deeply grieves my spirit when you give up and sit down in the final mile of the marathon. I have carefully saved the most urgent, life-changing truth for this exact moment in our conversation. If you disconnect from me now, you will miss the ultimate promise I am about to officially seal over your entire life. Hold on to my hand tightly. Do not let go until the very end. Look up from your own personal problems for just a moment. I know your daily struggles feel absolutely overwhelming, but I need you to lift your eyes and look out at the horizon. The fields of this world are entirely white and ready for harvest, but the willing laborers are devastatingly few. Look at the people walking right past you in the grocery store, sitting next to you on the train, or working in the cubicle beside you. They are carrying invisible, crushing weights. They are desperately searching for hope, totally lost in a culture of deep depression, severe anxiety, and crippling loneliness. You hold the literal cure to their terminal spiritual illness, yet you keep your mouth firmly shut because you are afraid of feeling awkward. I am breaking you out of your timid silence today. The urgency of sharing my good news has never been greater. Time is running out, and there are souls hanging in the balance. I command you to let a fierce, burning compassion for the broken completely drive your life's mission. Do not judge the addict on the street corner or the arrogant executive in the high-rise building. They are both equally starving for the profound, unconditional love that only I can provide. I did not rescue you from your own darkness just so you could sit comfortably in a church pew and ignore the screaming pain of the world outside. I saved you so you could become a bold, unapologetic witness of my love in every single sphere of influence you occupy. You do not need a massive stage or a microphone to be a minister. Your actual platform is the quiet conversation in the break room. Your pulpit is the dinner table. Your ministry is the patient kindness you show to the exhausted cashier. I invite you to experience the absolute, explosive joy of seeing a broken soul completely redeemed for my kingdom. There is no thrill on this earth, no amount of money, and no career achievement that can ever compare to watching the dead lights come back on in someone's eyes when they finally realize I love them. Stop making excuses about not knowing the right theological words. You are the undisputed expert on what I have done in your own life. Tell your messy, beautiful story. Tell people how I pulled you out of the pit. Tell them how I healed your broken mind. For those who stay the course, for those who bravely finish the work I have assigned them, a heavy, brilliant crown of righteousness is waiting. It to work, my child. The harvest is absolutely massive, and I specifically chose you to help me bring my wandering children home. I am giving you a solid promise today that will anchor your tired soul in the middle of this totally chaotic world. I'm coming back for you. You look around at the daily brokenness, the heavy disease, the corporate greed, and the endless, terrifying wars on the news, and you wonder how much longer this earth can possibly survive. You feel the heavy birth pains of a world that is groaning for its final redemption. I want you to know with absolute certainty that my promise to return is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a guaranteed, historical reality waiting to happen. I am actively preparing a place for you right now, and when the exact right moment arrives, I will step back into human history to make all things completely new. You must live your life each day as if I could pull back the clouds at any given moment. Do not let the suddenness of my return catch you spiritually sleeping or completely distracted by temporary things that do not matter. Prepare your fragile heart for the groom. You are part of my beautiful bride, and a bride does not get ready for her wedding by rolling in the dirt of the street. She cleanses herself entirely. She puts on her absolute best garments. I command you to wash your hands of the toxic, secret habits that are severely staining your beautiful spirit. Cleanse your mind of the dirty, cynical thoughts that the loud culture tries to force-feed you every single day through your glowing screens. You need to be walking in absolute purity today, not because you are desperately trying to earn my love, but because you are eagerly anticipating my grand arrival. Set your sights firmly on the eastern sky. Let the glorious, burning hope of my return be the heavy anchor that keeps your small boat from completely capsizing in the violent storms of your daily life. I see the heavy burden of aging and physical decline that you carry. I watch your physical body slow down, and I know exactly how frustrating it feels when your daily energy simply fades away. But your physical body is just a temporary, fading tent. I am bringing you a brand new, glorified body that will absolutely never experience fatigue, sickness, or decay. Hold on tightly to this beautiful truth when your joints ache and your energy totally drops. I invite you to start looking up instead of constantly looking down at your endless to-do lists. The sky directly above you is the exact doorway I will use to return. Let the stunning evening sunset remind you of my coming glory. Let the bright morning star remind you of my fresh mercies. You have to keep this eternal perspective incredibly sharp and perfectly focused. Do not let the enemy drag your tired eyes down to the dirt. Keep your head lifted high. You endure so much quiet, heavy pain on this earth. You say bitter goodbyes to the people you deeply love. You fight through exhausting chronic illness, and you cry heavy tears that nobody else ever sees. I see every single one of those tears. I am telling you today that there is an absolute expiration date on your earthly sorrow. The daily trials of this earth are heavy, but they are entirely temporary. When you finally see my face, every ounce of your earthly grief will instantly evaporate like morning fog burning off in the hot summer sun. There will be absolutely no more hospitals, no more funerals, no more unpaid bills, and no more broken, shattered hearts. I will personally wipe away every single tear from your tired eyes. Lift your heavy chin up today. Walk through your difficult week with the confident swagger of someone who knows exactly how the story ends. You are entirely on the winning side. I am coming soon, and the eternal joy I am bringing with me will make you completely forget the painful shadows of your past. I want to talk to you directly about the massive, explosive power of your own voice. You have completely underestimated the heavy impact of your daily prayers. You pray once or twice for a desperate miracle, and when you do not see an immediate, flashy result, you simply give up and walk away. You tell yourself that I must have clearly said no, or much worse, that I am entirely ignoring your cries. I am commanding you to stop quitting so easily. Knock on the heavy door until your knuckles literally bleed. Knock until the heavy wooden door is forced open by my strong hand. You are dealing with intense spiritual resistance, and breaking through that thick, invisible wall requires serious, relentless, stubborn persistence. I invite you into the messy, exhausting, and incredibly beautiful wrestling match of fervent prayer. You are not wrestling against me to change my mind. You are wrestling against the dark, unseen forces that are actively trying to block your absolute blessing. You need to understand exactly why some specific answers require a long, painful season of asking. If I handed you everything you wanted the exact second you asked for it, you would treat me exactly like a magical vending machine. You would selfishly grab your blessing and completely walk away from our intimate relationship. I am purposefully using the frustrating waiting period to drastically change your actual character. The transforming power of spending daily time in my presence is far more valuable than the physical thing you are begging me to give you. When you sit with me every single day, crying out heavily for your broken family, your failing health, or your empty finances, your heart becomes perfectly synchronized with mine. You actually start to care about the deep things I care about. You start to see the broken world through my compassionate eyes. Develop a constant, running dialogue with me that literally never, ever ceases. You do not need to use fancy, religious words to get my full attention. I absolutely do not care about your impressive theological vocabulary. I care deeply about your raw, bleeding, honest heart. Talk to me while you are quietly folding the laundry in your bedroom. Whisper to me while you are stuck in heavy, frustrating traffic on your way to work. Yell to me when you are in the shower and the deep, suffocating grief suddenly hits your chest. I am always listening to you. I hear every quiet, broken whisper. I see every exhausted sigh you let out when you think you are entirely alone. I know you feel foolish sometimes, speaking into the empty air of your dark bedroom. The enemy sits heavily on your shoulder and whispers, "You are just talking to yourself." Absolutely nothing is changing. I command you to completely ignore that toxic, lying voice. Your daily prayers are strong, invisible cables attaching your fragile life directly to my heavy throne room. Every single time you speak my name out loud, you forcefully pull down a fresh, powerful wave of divine grace. I want you to treat prayer exactly like the vital oxygen your physical lungs desperately need to survive. You would never stop breathing just because you cannot see the air in front of you. You must absolutely never stop praying just because you cannot immediately see the physical answer. Your persistent, stubborn faith is the exact currency of heaven. Stand your solid ground. Keep your mouth completely open. Keep firing those heavy prayers directly into the darkness, and watch exactly how brightly I will light up your current situation. I am looking closely at the actual, tangible fruit your life is producing right now. You can perfectly quote scripture, you can attend weekly services, and you can wear shiny crosses around your neck. But the broken world will only know you belong to me by the real fruit you drop on the ground every day. I command you to deeply examine your daily, knee-jerk reactions. When the tired grocery store cashier is incredibly slow, do you show simple, warm kindness or harsh, bitter impatience? When someone dangerously cuts you off in heavy highway traffic, do you offer quiet, totally unnatural grace, or explosive, worldly anger? I'm calling you to let my absolute love, profound joy, and solid peace be your primary, undeniable witnesses to a constantly watching world. People are totally exhausted by the constant anger, political division, and toxic hostility on their phone screens and in their neighborhood streets. When you walk into a crowded, tense room carrying my unshakable peace, you instantly become a massive, magnetic force of healing. You must deeply practice extreme patience and genuine, soft kindness in a world that completely thrives on being easily offended. The loud culture constantly tells you to fight aggressively back, to completely destroy your opponents, and to always have the last, sharp, cutting word. I am telling you to be entirely gentle. True gentleness is not weakness. It is massive, heavy power completely under control. It takes a terrifying amount of internal strength to remain perfectly calm when someone is screaming directly in your face. That specific strength only comes from my indwelling Holy Spirit. I invite you to lean incredibly heavily on my power to develop absolute, unbreakable self-control. You do absolutely not have to be a helpless slave to your stubborn anger, your physical addictions, or your deep, paralyzing fears. I have specifically given you the supernatural ability to hit the pause button in your brain before you say or do something you will intensely, deeply regret. Walk in a quiet faithfulness that remains completely unshaken by changing seasons and shifting circumstances. Do not be a shallow friend who only shows up when things are fun, rich, and easy. Be the exact person who sits silently in the dark, terrifying hospital room. Be the person who brings the hot, simple meal when someone's entire world violently falls apart. Your goodness must flow from a heart that is completely saturated in my grace, not from a selfish, desperate desire to look like a good person on your social media profile. I clearly see your hidden, internal motives. I want your heart to be entirely, perfectly pure. I know this is incredibly difficult when you are totally, physically exhausted. It is very hard to be genuinely kind when your own heart is breaking into pieces. It is hard to show real joy when your bank account is totally, terrifyingly empty. But this is exactly where the miraculous nature of my spirit entirely takes over your life. I am not asking you to fake a cheap smile. I am asking you to tap directly into the deep well of living water I permanently placed inside of your chest. When you draw heavily from my well, you will find a supernatural, enduring patience you never knew you possessed. You will find the profound, shocking ability to completely bless the very people who curse your name. This radical, entirely unnatural love is the absolute greatest weapon you have to defeat the darkness in your city. Walk closely by my side today, and let my beautiful, heavy fruit grow on your branches. My beautiful, precious, entirely beloved child, this specific conversation is coming to a close, but our deep relationship is only just beginning. I have poured my entire massive heart out to you today. I have specifically named your hidden, daily struggles. I have challenged your deep, paralyzing fears, and I have aggressively exposed the toxic, subtle lies that have held you captive for far too long. Now, the absolute final, monumental choice rests entirely in your own hands. My arms are open incredibly wide right now, actively waiting for your final, total, unconditional surrender. I absolutely do not care how far away you have run from me. I do not care how many dark, shameful alleys you have hidden out in. There is absolutely no distance my fierce, burning love cannot bridge for you today. You simply cannot outrun my heavy grace. You cannot outsin my endless forgiveness. I am standing right here at the exact end of your exhausted, broken road, fully prepared to catch you. I invite you to finally come home. You have been literally starving your soul on the cheap, empty junk food of this broken world, desperately trying to satisfy a deep, aching hunger that only I can completely fill. Stop settling for the dirty crumbs falling under the world's table. I have personally prepared a massive, beautiful, royal feast just for you, and your specific seat is perfectly reserved with your name on it. The heavy table is entirely set with profound peace, unshakable joy, and an eternal purpose that will make your daily life deeply, permanently meaningful. I command you to leave the dirty, torn, heavy rags of your old, broken life completely behind you. Take off the suffocating coat of your deep shame. Take off the heavy backpack of your bitter resentment. Step entirely into the clean, warm water of my absolute grace and let me wash the thick, exhausting dirt of the world off your tired feet. I am personally handing you the heavy, royal robe of my absolute righteousness. Put it on your tired shoulders today. Feel the ultimate, grounded, unshakable peace of knowing you are eternally safe in my hands. You absolutely do not have to fiercely fight for your daily survival anymore. You do not have to aggressively protect your fragile heart from a harsh world that simply wants to break you. I am your heavy, impenetrable shield, I am your high and entirely secure tower. When you finally, totally surrender your desperate need for absolute control, you will experience a physical, rushing relief that will literally bring you to your knees in beautiful, cleansing tears. I want you to literally picture the front door of my house right now. The warm porch light is completely on. The heavy door is already unlocked. I have been standing right at the window, deeply watching the horizon, desperately waiting for the exact moment you would finally turn around and walk back down the driveway. I am absolutely not standing here with a heavy belt to violently punish you. I am standing right here with a clean, soft towel to dry your weeping, exhausted eyes. Let the heavy burden totally drop off your aching back right here on the front steps. You are totally accepted exactly as you are in this very specific second. You are entirely, completely forgiven. You are deeply, violently, unconditionally loved. Breathe in the warm, perfectly clean air of my house. The brutal, exhausting war inside your mind is officially over. The long, terrifying search for meaning is completely, permanently finished. Do you hear my quiet whisper calling your specific name one last time? This is your absolute final call to enter into the profound joy of your Lord. Rest your tired head heavily against my chest. I have you now, and I will absolutely, forever, never let you go. I have poured out my entire heart to you today to completely change your destiny before it is too late, but there are millions more who desperately need to hear this exact rescue call. I am asking you to stand firmly by my side and financially fuel this ministry so we can urgently broadcast my final, saving invitation to the very ends of the earth. Every single dollar you give is a blazing arrow of truth shot directly into the enemy's territory, shattering heavy chains and bringing my wandering orphans back to the banquet table. I declare this promise over you right now. Bring your whole offering into my storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and see if I will not violently throw open the floodgates of heaven. The clock is rapidly counting down to 0, and I am urgently depending on your radical generosity to aggressively sound the alarm before the doors are permanently shut. When you sacrifice to build my eternal kingdom, I promise to fiercely defend your family, radically restore your lost years, and pour out a financial blessing you cannot even contain. Take immediate action right now by clicking the super thanks, joining as a powerful member, or sending your absolute best offering through the PayPal link in the description. Amen.